All right, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Spy Party Competitive League cast for Week 5. My name is Crazy Kaylee. And I will be joined shortly by Warning Track and Taboshi as soon as I turn on their microphones, which I have not done yet. But this week is Week 5. We're at the halfway point of the SCL. Got some really good matches for you, including 2 live ones to start. Our first match is going to be James1221 versus Scallions. So without further ado, I will turn you over to Mr. Taboshi and Mr. Warning Track. Take it away, boys.
Man, I'm actually pretty excited for this game. It seems like it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, hello, everyone. Yeah, for those who don't know, James1221, or James, as his friends probably call him, is an old-time Spy Party guy. You've heard the phrase old money. He's old Spy Party. He's back for, I think, May of 2012 is when he signed up, one of the first several hundred people to join the beta. I'm pretty early in my own right, and he still beat me by like 8 months, for crying out loud, way back when the beta was very, very closed. So it's a little tricky here because he was one of the original Elite players, really. He's got almost 4,000 games, but he hasn't played much recently. So there's going to be a very interesting question of, has he atrophied at all? Is he going to take some time to get back into things?
Yeah, James, as you were saying, was one of the original Elites back in the day. Scallions, however, is, I guess, I'm hesitant to call him a newer player. He's a newer player in comparison to James, but most of us are.
Most of us are. Yeah.
Yes. Scallions has gotten pretty scary, though. Scallions is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he should absolutely put up a fight, but that's kind of what's interesting about this is that you could see it going any way. You can write out several narratives ahead of time. You could say, well, Scallions has got 900 more games. Of course he won. You could say Scallions has played a little more often. Of course he won. On the other hand, you could say James is one of the originals. He's got more real-world experience, and we talked about that last week about how there's a difference between experience in terms of games played and experience in terms of days you've been playing Spy Party.
That's true.
Watching streams and things like that. Just sort of the difference again between knowledge and wisdom, and there's no substitute for some of it. The and as an earlier player, I want to believe that's true at least. That these darn kids on my Spy Party lawn can't catch up to me in 1,000 or 2,000 games, but maybe they can. And the only way we find out whether or not they can is through matches like this. This is a really great little test case for the way for how those two things compare.
Should be a lot of fun. The game is up. I don't know if we have picks or bans yet, or if that's going to be happening shortly. But either way, it's not going to be long now until things get started.
Yeah, very exciting, and just exciting to see James play. I think I played him a little bit way back in the day, but he's one of those other players that I just kind of missed a lot for whatever reason. You actually find out after a couple months that you have schedules that line up with certain other Elite players, and sometimes they don't, and you almost never end up playing certain people, and you'll play other people over and over again. Like, Drawn and I have played each other about 1,000 times, literally. So I never really got to play James much, so I don't have a good feel for his style, to be honest, and I don't know if it would matter if I did because it's been so long.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're getting right into things here. First map is going to be Courtyard 2, any 4 of 7, so no delays on this. We're just going to get going.
Yeah, between the map and the mission setup, this is as close to a standard neutral game mode as we have.
Which we would think would favor James as he steps into the spiral here. We're about to find out, I suppose. Immediately gets highlight for the early statue visit. I don't even think he's going to get both of his inspects done here, but he does swap a statue on the white test.
Wow.
That is a ballsy maneuver.
Yeah, seems pretty clear he's trying to go for the quick white swap, but I don't know. It doesn't feel quick enough to be one of those.
Yeah, I agree. Does get the one inspect off. He's not dead yet, but I don't think Scallions has gone back around to check that statue. There, he sees it just now. Does he know?
It's not.
He does.
He might have missed it. It's not really clear from the cursor movement. I don't see anything dramatic happening. Here's the thing: when they don't go flying around, low lighting or highlighting a bunch of people, it means one of two things. It means they missed it, or they're dead on it, and there's no point in highlighting or low-lighting because they know who their suspect is.
That's
so
true.
It's kind of one extreme or the other. If he shoots him suddenly out of nowhere, we'll have our answer, but I think he probably missed it. I agree with you.
So, at the time being, we're going to work under the assumption that it came off completely clean, and if we get proven otherwise, that's fine. But
well, that'll happen many times throughout the night one way or another, so no problem.
But assuming that it was clean, James, despite the fact that he didn't get both inspects off, is in a pretty good position here. And yeah, that banana bread comes off and we start getting some lowlights, I'm pretty sure James is clean.
I think so. Interesting, though, that he has kind of been laying low since. He hasn't been trying to get any flirts done. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes when you do that early hardtail, if you're not sure you've gotten away with it, you'll kind of give away the advantage you've gotten for yourself by being worried and trying to shed suspicion by doing nothing for a couple minutes. So he might blow that advantage if he doesn't get moving soon. Although, maybe he's counting on him noticing the swap and shooting someone else. But it's really not clear.
Always something to think about. Always something to think about.
And there's the flirt, and I really don't know. I'm surprised he's trying to flirt here. He doesn't have a lot of time. He's going to have to run over, do an inspect, maybe a purloin. There it is.
Yeah, purloin comes off. That's a scary proposition.
Scallions isn't acting like he sees it. Oh, maybe now he does.
Play. Oh, wow.
Ooh, that cursor movement. Yeah, I don't know if he saw it. I really don't. He hasn't fired. There's 25 seconds left. 2 hardtails. I don't think he knows.
Like it might not finish. The BB comes off. It's real this time. I think both.
No. Double agent left.
Oh, my God.
Uh-oh. He's not going to finish. I can't believe he might do 2 hardtails and not get shot and not finish.
That's brutal. 7 seconds. It's not going to happen. There's no way. He's going to try to green time at the end. It was
the only way. And he sees it. Yep. Yeah. And there it is. Wow. Okay. I don't know. I have to think it's one of those things where you do the hardtail early on, but you're so worried that you've been caught that it becomes a self-fulfilling proposition. Where you're worried they saw it, so you hang so low, and then all of a sudden that advantage you have, having gotten away with a hardtail early on, or at least maybe gotten away with it, that advantage is gone.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then I think he got away with a white purloin there at the end. He might have narrowed it down, but the cursor movement and the fact that he didn't shoot with 20-some seconds left and a hardtail visible really suggests to me that he got away with that too, a white swap and a white purloin on Courtyard 2, and you don't get shot for either? That's incredible. And you don't win the game.
That's a brutal loss to take.
Yeah, that's although you got to feel kind of good about your chances there. If you're Scallions, you're glad you won and everything, but you're thinking, oh man, I missed some big stuff and I really lucked out there. If he'd had a little more forward momentum on those flirts, he would have had a lot more options at the end of the game and might have won. Scallions can't feel good about that win.
Yeah.
Insofar as it being a win, sure, but beyond that, that's one of the least reassuring wins I think you can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
So both players may be a little shaken.
Well, we'll see how Scallions deals with things on the spy side as James goes for the sniper.
And we get an early time ad. It's a green.
Yeah.
Two of them.
Oh my!
Both of them green.
Scallions and cheeky bugger. That looks like a bug to me.
Yeah, he resists the urge to bug, and he should. You shouldn't add time twice and then do a quick hardtail.
I agree.
Bug is the kind of thing you do to save time. Unless you have a great opportunity, and at that point it wasn't. So what he ought to be able to do with this...
on the DA. It was a great time to do it, but he left right as the DA was showing up, unfortunately.
A couple people with statues now. It looks like the situation... There we go. This looks like a slightly better situation.
Green purloin coming off.
Wow.
A risky maneuver, but he hit the test on it.
3 for 3 on action tests so far. Interesting. You figure with all that extra time, the one thing you're going to do for sure is you're going to space your flirts out, take your time, probably go to statues middle or late to the game. Hope that there are a lot of statue visitors, for example. Yeah. You wait for a long purloin chain. Doesn't really do any of that. Just goes right into a purloin and hits the green.
Well, there's that purloin chain. Purloin just came off now. He also got a green flirt from a bit of a distance that got him 37%.
James was zoomed in after the list was gone, so it's pretty fair to say he knows it's gone, but he hasn't really low-lit anyone for it, so I don't think he's very confident about who took it.
Yeah, I don't think he knows.
I think that's a pretty clean purloin.
I like the innocent drink take there. Might be able to get a bug out of this if he catches James on a rotation. James did go for the full rotation, but Scallions didn't decide to go for it.
Now, you get a little bit of latency with that sniper laser, so waiting on the rotation, you can do it, but it's a little risky for sure.
That's true.
And his bug hand is now holding a drink anyway. Yeah. If he does want a bug, I'll have to either move or get rid of that drink.
Apparently there's stuff happening on my voice, but I have no idea what it is.
It's cutting out a little bit, yeah. One thing you would think would be a no-brainer with this setup when 2 timeouts early is that you go for the fingerprint. But he has not started doing that.
Yeah, no fingerprinting has occurred, which is very interesting. Is going into the statues now to pick up his inspect. No highlight for it yet.
Yeah,
no
James,
highlight.
James has highlighted several people at statues. I wonder if maybe he's just sort of giving up on it mid-game. Hard to say.
Oh, that was so weird.
Oh boy! Nope.
But it looks like Plaid's about to take a bullet.
Yeah, that's gonna be for a phantom bug. If we look at again here, I'm gonna look at around, let's see, 225, 230. Oh, a little later than that. Yeah, it really looks like Plaid. First of all, he grabbed the briefcase.
Oh yeah, it does.
Bumped into Bondo, then bumped into the general. He did two laps around a conversation with the briefcase. Obviously, it's AI, but it really looks like he might have bugged. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was already high-lit, I think, is the thing. So he'd been to statues. He looked like he could have bugged. Did some weird pathing with the briefcase, and there you go.
Yeah. That's all it takes sometimes.
Yep. And Scallions is up 2-0. We're starting to get our answer about the whole Rust thing a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I can't really fault James for that loss, though. The only thing he really gave up was the Purloin, and it was a bit of a difficult Purloin to catch even on this map.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I can fault him for missing the time ads. A lot of good players miss time ads, especially good ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Match. But I think the main problem there was not missing either of those things. Is that he didn't winnow the cast down for either of them. It's not like he said, well, this person couldn't have time added, let alone twice. This person couldn't have purloined. I don't think he got any lowlights out of any of those 3 action tests, all green. And you got to at least get that party down to a manageable state. It's okay to miss things, but you got to get something out of it, right? You got to counteract the mission by at least reducing your suspect pool. And if you can do that, then it makes it a lot easier to catch something around the end of the game.
That's a very good point, but we're into the next one. James stepping in to Panopticon, any 5 of 7 with no swap.
Oh boy, right next to the seduction target and right next to the ambassador to start with.
Yeah,
and behind the pillar.
Oh, the bug!
Yep.
There it was! Oh, I think he's alive.
Oh, Scallions was looking very closely after it happened. I think he might have just been keeping tabs on the ambassador, though. I don't think he saw anything.
That was scary.
The thing about the bug is, on Panopticon, if you hang out next to the ambassador in a conversation circle, you're gonna get it. Unless they're selling out to catch bug, you just have to be patient. You're gonna get your chance. It only takes a little flick of the wrist when they pull away, and they have to at some point.
It's true.
So bug is almost like flirt in that sense, where it's a mission you're gonna get done if you're patient, as long as you don't force it. But it does require that time commitment. Yeah.
James, though, has to keep moving. 5 missions is no small task on this map.
Yeah, and we saw this in the first game. You know, he got something done early, did it here again, but can't fall into the same trap. Got to learn from that first game and say, you know what, I got to keep forward momentum. And you're right, especially on 5 of 7 on Panop, you got to keep moving. It's
such a big map.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's played it as much. I mean, obviously it's been around a while, but it's entirely possible he doesn't have as much experience on Panopticon as a lot of the other competitive players right now. Looks like he's going to try to flirt first.
Yep, just shoves himself right on in there.
He can get away with it here, especially behind the pillar.
No hard tell done, though. Nothing done on any transfer business.
He's got the bug.
He's got his bug, and he's got his 2 flirts, but he's only got 2 minutes and 15 left to play, and he's already looking low on time.
He's already looking like he's going to need a time ad or some sort of inspect swap combination. He's got to get moving.
Well, here he goes. It looks like... No, he's not.
Well, he wisely avoids being the 3rd person at that shelf, at least.
Yeah. Okay, now he's stepping into red shelf, so... Might be able to get...
Scallion saw him there. He absolutely saw him. He hung there for a second when he arrived, too. So he might already be watching him a little closely. I'm not sure.
He's not highlight yet, and you can't really...
It's not. Yeah. Right. And there comes the microfilm. Not visible.
It's a good thing Stallion stayed over there for as long as he did.
Yeah, he timed it pretty well, and it looks like he wasn't looking at all. Totally clean. Ooh, why walk by the Amba that closely after your bug's already done?
Yeah, lots of... The time management from James hasn't been great, and there have been a bunch of very small mistakes here and there. Picking pads, picking locations.
I'm gonna say this is another mistake if he's trying to get his inspects done. He doesn't have time for 2 statue visits.
I agree.
I don't see how this is going to work unless he's planning inspect swap, but even that. I'm also a little intrigued by his use of camera here. The camera work, he's walking sideways a lot. Oh, wow.
Oh, but Scallions. Scallions takes a bad shot, and James is on the board.
Yeah, I'm not sure what... he might have mismemorized the statues there. She was at center statues, and she was already highlighted, I think, before she went, and she went to the other statue. She went from one to the other. It's possible he hallucinated a swap, or it's possible he was just watching her most of the game and his imagination got the better of him. I saw a couple pathing errors too. It's very interesting. James does not use his camera the way a lot of players do. He kind of walks sideways a lot. Whatever works for you, but I wonder if that's a deliberate choice or just something born out of not playing as much recently.
It's hard to say, but it's quite clear that his spy game isn't quite as strong. Like, the execution's fine. It's the decision-making that seems a little bit off in places.
Yeah, which is funny because you'd expect it to be the other way around.
Yeah.
But James picks up his first win.
So he does.
He'd done 2.5 to 3 missions, roughly. Hard to say if he would have had a chance to finish there.
It would have been really tight either way, but if he can pick up a sniper win here, as Scallions takes off statues as well, he's actually going to be able to tie things up.
Yeah, he's not in a bad position. That shot, really big there. Obviously, if he times out, not only falling behind 3-0, but if he times out again, or has the equivalent of a timeout even, where he's not going to finish, at that point, both of them know what's going on, and both of them know that he's having trouble completing missions, and that's going to make it even harder to come back, because then you got to beat on him.
That's true. That's very true.
There's a big psychological edge in getting missions done. Even if you get shot in the countdown, then both you and the sniper know you can do it.
This is a pretty slow start from Scallions. He was able to hit a green test on the flirt, but it's only 42%. Probably gonna go for a crash bug when James swings away.
Yeah, it's good. You can definitely get away with it. Just like the other kind of bug, you can if you time it right.
Well, Amba stepped away, so that's not going to wind up happening. Goes for the fingerprint, and he is going to follow up on this. I was wondering if he was just going to put the briefcase back down again. It's a bit of a late stop, but that's not the kind of thing that's going to get noticed. Pretty decent briefcase, all things considered.
Yeah, not bad. But here we go again, just not a lot getting done here. 1 fingerprint and a good chunk of seduce, not bad. That fingerprint in particular is a big wild card that could really end up helping out. If he can do something like an inspect visit, yeah. If he can
I thought he was
going to
maybe try for a really ballsy double agent there, but it didn't wind up happening.
Said he's going to run off with the book mid-animation, and you can get away with that here. Is he going to bug? Yeah. No. Here we go. Now he's stringing it together.
Scallions is playing this so slowly, though. A close green on the second flirt, 93%.
Well, it's not bad. He grabs the book, gets his flirt on the way to the other bookshelf. If he dumps this in red and comes back and gets the last flirt, or even dumps it in yellow and comes back and gets the last flirt, suddenly he's looking all right.
Yeah, but you only have like 1 minute and 30 left, and you still have 2 missions to do, assuming he gets fingerprint done.
He's got 2 minutes now. As long as he keeps moving, especially if he can combine it with a fingerprint. It looks like he's trying to space out this book, but he got away so clean the first time. I don't think he had to go to conversation there.
I agree. Let's see what happens here. 1 minute and 45 left to play as he sets this book back. That's 1 mission done.
Yeah. Although huge chunks of 2 others, obviously. So
that's true.
But you're right. His first official mission done, and he's going to go to center statues with a lot of people there. Oh boy.
Not necessarily too bad a decision if he goes for right statue and then held and then left once red puts it down.
Yeah. Oh, she's taking her time, isn't she? Oh, nah, he's not willing to wait.
No, he one-cycled that, I think.
Wow. Oh, picking up that book again really quick. He did that the first time, and that's okay because he was running off with the book, but the laser was on him, and he still picked up the book instantly.
I think maybe he thought that there was a fingerprint on there, but there totally wasn't.
I don't know. You want to wait either way. We saw that last week, too. A lot of high-level players pick up books very quick. And the statue pickups too. It feels like that's something that high-level players used to catch people on, catch each other on all the time. I think it's a bit of a lost art. I think people are paying less attention to it than they used to.
That's true. That's very true.
Used to be a big thing. I got shot for it all the time in the beginning, and then shot a lot of other people myself when I learned better.
Yeah.
But now I see people getting away with it all the time.
Well, we'll see what happens.
There's the Purrloin. It's green. And now, all of a sudden, that would be his third mission. If he can, while the Purrloin's going off, get a fingerprint or the inspect, he's going to try to finish the inspect first.
Yeah. It's going to be tight still. Only 18 seconds left, and he's at statue. No matter what happens here, it's going to be overtime.
Yeah. And he's not looking. Oh, there's the briefcase.
Seconds.
No, there's the briefcase right there. He should be going for it.
It's right there. 6 seconds. What are you doing?
I don't understand this at all. Oh, that's
time ad, green check time ad. It's going to hang.
That's better than nothing, but I don't think he even saw the brief. There it is, caught for it.
And there's the shot.
Wow. And just like that, it is 2-all.
I'd have had it.
He absolutely had it. You know what that tells me? That tells me that not only... I noticed that his camera was not really where you'd want it to be. I was looking to see whether or not, at the statues, whether or not his camera was swinging around so that he could see where that last fingerprint was going to be, if anywhere. And if it wasn't anywhere, then you go for something else or you do a time ad. He didn't move the camera at all, which tells me he wasn't even thinking about fingerprint, which is odd. And then that's confirmed when we see him leave the statues, and with the briefcase gift-wrapped. Yeah. Right? Not only is it available, it's not on the other side of the map. It's not, yeah, Merry Christmas. It's not in the center. It's right next to him, and the Amba is walking away. There's no one near it. It's totally gift wrapped. You're going to go into overtime, but hey, that's something like that's going to happen anyway. And it tells me that he wasn't even considering doing fingerprint because that could not have been better. And there's the opportunism. He had a chance to take advantage of that. That was an opportunity, and he just missed it. So, you know, we like to talk about players getting a little bit lucky and the party helping them, but look at that. Sometimes it happens, and if you're not there to pounce on it, it's all for nothing.
I think the reason Fingerprint was so far off of his radar is because he hasn't really had the chance to play with it much. And when things start getting tight, it's not one of the missions that crosses his mind.
I guess so, but I would. The thing that really perplexes me, though, is that he did have one fingerprint done. It's not like he ignored the mission, forgot it was there.
James almost gets the early bug, but Ambassador changes directions at the exact wrong moment.
Yeah, worth the risk. It's high reward, low risk, and as you can see, not really a suspect for it. Worth pointing out, he is one of the twins here.
Misses a pad very slightly, but is able to correct it. By the way, we're on Ballroom any 4 of 8.
Yes, very pretty. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't get the picks and bands in before, and I believe he is the plain twin, the bling twin across the party right now. And for those who don't know, I guess we should explain this occasionally. There are twins here, twin characters. We call one the bling twin because that twin has a tie pin and I think an earring and a ring, and the other has none of those things. No bling.
85% on the flirt already is a pretty darn fast start as far as that's concerned. Does get highlight though.
Ooh, and highlighted bookshelves. That's interesting. Scallions really must be onto something there, because that's not something you see very often. He might have thought he'd seen a microfilm.
Yeah, that's a bit of an odd choice. It seemed to work, though.
Yeah. Give James credit.
Done.
Got to give James some credit there. Doesn't stand near the seduction target because he didn't have to. Shows that he's definitely on the ball.
Absolutely. Keeping him distance there was a very good move. A very subtle move, but something that you really have to pay attention to at this high level, and it does make a difference.
It's a good proxy for kind of how on their game the spy is, I think.
Yeah.
And so, you know, nice to have the seduce out of the way. It means he can, most of the missions that are left he can do very quickly. That interesting little path there.
That was a very AI-looking path. Might not be able to get this fingerprint. Doesn't hit it, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it was a smudged fingerprint. He had to hit the difficult action test and was not able to do it. Boy,
and now
still...
the time is looking pretty bad already. 1:30, he has 3 missions to do.
If you're looking at this at the spectation split screen like I am, you got to be noticing these strange camera angles with the pathing. He's walking towards the Amba, and the Amba's not even visible on the screen sometimes. It's working for him. Everyone has their own way of doing this, but this is definitely unusual.
Absolutely. Might be able to get the bug on the way out of this. He's got a little bit of cover if he gets the angle right, but no, it's watching so closely.
Yeah,
gets it in convo, though!
Wow.
Oh my goodness, what a play that was!
Oh, wow. Scallions was clearly watching that. And when you can see why Scallions is watching for it. Look at his side. Only a couple of highlights. So he's really focused in on James right now.
Comes off, unfortunately. The DA left him.
Yeah, I don't think James is in particularly good shape. It really feels like Scallions has done an excellent job of limiting his highlights. And so James is just one of two people, kind of getting the stare down right now. It was incredible that he got away with that bug. I don't see how he's going to get away with much more, though, because he's being watched very closely.
If he'd gotten the DA off, it might have been okay. But right now, there's just nothing he can do, I don't think. DA comes back in. BB comes off for real this time, but with only 18 seconds left to play. That's what the plan is. It's going to be a purloin, and Scallions doesn't look in 5 seconds if he doesn't get on this quick.
He just saw it. He just think about shooting.
Does he take the shot? He doesn't.
Wow.
And James able to find a spy win out of nowhere.
Wow. And you look at that cursor at the on the split screen there. He was thinking about it. He was zoomed in. I think I think a couple more seconds and he might have done it. I don't know. I mean, he definitely didn't get a good look at the purloin. But the thing is, if you're in that scenario, there's 5 seconds left. You've seen the purloin is gone. Even if you're not sure, the odds of them being finished are really high. At that point, you might want to literally just flip a coin and pick a highlight. And if it's somebody like that who's kind of in the general range still of the tray, I think maybe you just take the shot. I know it's a tough thing to do. Boy, that was really something.
Track, you say flip a coin and pick a highlight. There was only one highlight.
Oh yeah, he bumped her back down. That's right. So that makes that's really interesting. He had a very impressive number of lowlights. 11. You're right. He had 2 highlights most of the game, but then it was only 1 by the end. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure what the elderly woman did to get herself unhighlit. But wow, it's hard to take that shot though when you didn't actually see it.
And suddenly James is in front, and Scallions is playing on the spy side from behind here.
Yeah, and we're into the next game already. Just as well, I don't know what else we can say other than, hey, it's hard to take that shot, but he probably should have done it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Holy heck. What a finish.
And Scallion's playing a twin as well, the other twin.
Yep, Scallion's on the Bling twin. Picks up a 51% on the flirt right off the top, which is nice. Makes the 2 flirt a distinct possibility.
Mm-hmm. Scallion's got to be reeling a little bit here. Not only was he up...
Oh, white purloin coming off. Oh, that's right in camera view. There it is. It's gone.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
James totally saw it.
And he's not going to gulp, but here's the thing. He's at the point now where if James is on his game, and it seems like he is here, it's going to be almost impossible for him to mission win. His best chance of winning, if he is really the suspect I think he might be, his best chance is hoping.
Baiting. James is baiting.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, it's conspicuous. He's hiding the cursor, and he's all the way across the map. You're totally right. And by the way, not even bothering to highlight. That's how sure he is, I think. The only way he wins this game, and I don't think he does, but the only way he wins this game is if he hangs very low and somebody else, one of his highlights, does something very suspicious.
See him there? He actually moved his cursor under the map so he would avoid Scallions.
Yeah, you're right. He's totally on this. Boy, Scallions up 2-0 and incredibly close to going up 3-0, and suddenly he's down 3-2 and incredibly close to going down 4-2. But
here's the hard transfer, and this is going to be a shot, right?
It kind of has to be, yeah. It's interesting that Scallions is going for it. He's not conceding defeat.
There it is.
Is he going to do it? Yeah, there it is. Wow. Okay. That's there it is. I think it's tough for Scallions because he really doesn't know how much he got away with it. He took one sip and then he went to bookshelves. I think he might have technically gulped at bookshelves. I can't remember if he snuck in another sip or not. And if he did gulp at bookshelves though, and if he got away with it, he might be tempted to think, hey, there's a chance I'm not the big suspect I think I am. The cursor hasn't been on me at all, which we know why. And then he has to make the decision, do I hang low and just hope he shoots someone else, which is a very tough thing to do, or do I try to actually finish missions? There's not really a right answer for that, but we know from our side that the only hope he had of winning, and it might not have been much of a hope, was in doing nothing and hoping somebody else was suspicious.
That being said, almost every time, doing missions and trying to finish is the correct play.
That's true. It's a good default position. It just turned out not to be the right one this time.
Yeah. Oh, the insta-swap coming from James! facing the window, too. What a ballsy move that was.
Well, winning 4 in a row can give you a little bit of confidence, I'm sure. And he's playing with a lot of aggression and confidence right now, and it looks like it's going to work.
James had a bit of a rough start to this game, but man, oh man, is he on fire coming out of this.
Yeah, looking really good all of a sudden. He might be a suspect for the statue visit, maybe the swap, but look at that. There's three highlights already. That's not good. Scallions has generally done a pretty good job with his highlights and lowlights. Very impressive, in fact, even on some of the games he's lost. So this is out of character for him. He's got to get that narrowed down, especially on a map with as many guests as Gallery.
And 3 highlights isn't bad in its own right. 3 highlights this early on suggests that's going to be piling up for a bit.
Yeah, the main thing is that he got 3 of them almost immediately. It was more like a bad pace rather than a bad number.
So, swap is done. 2 inspects out of 3 are done. 34% on the flirt, and with 2 minutes and 10 still left to play, James is looking like he's in a solid position here.
Especially if he can get up a fingerprint here, which...
And he does.
He does. There we go.
This is looking good.
It's going to give him a lot of options, but he does have to keep moving. He doesn't... Oh boy, he didn't stop nearly soon enough.
That was a bad stop.
That was a full second and a half afterwards, I think. That's rough. Scallions, though, doesn't appear to be looking for it.
Yeah, it seems like there was nothing doing on that one, really. So the stop didn't hinder him at all. Able to get a nice close white flirt up to 68%. So one more good close flirt will finish that up on the 3 test.
Yeah, that gets him in range where as long as he stands close on the next one, he doesn't have to hit the green test. That's big.
Indeed.
Like
yeah,
right here,
absolutely.
for example, maybe, but I think the timer might take a little bit longer.
I didn't do anything, Kaylee, so I don't know why I'm sounding better, but I'm glad I am. This might be the last flirt if that timer runs out.
Oh,
there it is.
It's going to be close.
It's a green.
He got it.
Gets it.
No reason to do the green. Again, technically, probably should have just let it go, but okay.
Well, maybe, yeah.
He might have been slightly afraid. Oh, you've cut out again, I'm afraid. Barely hear you. So he's got some cover with the statue here. It's very smart that... Oh, wow! There it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
I was just about to compliment him by saying if you've already swapped, then you deliberately don't want your back to a statue so they're not tempted to think you're blocking. So I like that decision. But what we might have had here is, there was the awkward briefcase return. Hard to say how much he might have caught him for that. He might have been a little more suspicious of the swap than we were able to tell. But second statue visit, one of his highlights visiting. In fact, that might have been why he left his highlights the way he did. We noticed I mentioned he had 3 highlights very early on. Maybe he didn't really add to them for the most part because he was pretty sure there'd been a swap, but he didn't know which of them it had been. So he wanted to just watch those 3 again and see who goes back, for example. And he was the first to go back.
Yeah, that was some weird stuff. Seemed like it worked, though.
Yeah, it does seem to have worked. If that's what happened, it's a pretty good little mix of strategy and execution, and it gives him a chance here to tie.
Absolutely. He's jumping back in, this time on the sniper side of things. Scallions on the spy. Let's see how this goes. Scallions with a chance to tie things up at 4, and this is the last game of the match.
Yeah, this is it either way. James has already forced at least a tie, and after falling behind 2-0, certainly a good outcome. Although, also being up 4-2 would feel probably like a bit of a letdown if he does have to settle for a draw.
James had a bit of a rough start, but he came out on fire after that. He didn't really play any worse that last game. Scallions just had a really nice game of his own.
You could say it was a little aggressive. He's forced a hardtail at the beginning of pretty much every spy game, and while I generally like that and it's mostly worked, here's the thing. He can see the log every time, so I question the decision to do it for like a 4th straight game, for example, with the sniper knowing you've been doing it.
It's been working for him, though. It has been.
Right.
And
Well, that's the thing, right? The more you get away with it, the more you get away with it, the more you should consider stopping, assuming that the sniper is paying attention. So it's like a self-balancing thing, right? It's been working, but if it works so well, you kind of have to stop.
That's true.
Boy,
Or at least start varying a bit.
Right. Yeah. It's you don't want to fall into a trap there. Boy, long pause at bookshelf there.
That
was interesting. It probably looks like a flirt.
Oh,
here we go.
Conversation.
Oh, it's working beautifully. You look at the sniper side, and it really looked like he was just looking back and forth in conversation. Yeah. It was very well lined up. The body was blocked. Great job.
I'm a little bit confused at why he's coming all the way out here, though.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to give himself some time, but I guess he wants to BB.
But it doesn't get it off, which is unfortunate.
Nope, doesn't happen. Boy, that was really well executed.
Yeah, it was.
He had a very good sense of...
It's not technically in convo. It's a neat little maneuver that people do to make it look like they're in convo while they pull
smart there.
Out of a book.
And that was good. He's heading for the blue bookshelf. He saw two people there, and he just kind of hung out by the by the painting, rather, just long enough to avoid that. Puts the book back in. Make sure you're seen there.
That is a play we do not see very often, and it was good stuff. Microfilm is now done as well.
Technically, the only mission done, though. He's got 2 inspects done. No fingerprints, though, and no flirt. Here's one. That'll help a lot.
Oh, nice. That's a 51% on that. He might be able to 2-flirt this.
And
he might have to 2-flirt this, but white test at the back, and the wrong shot comes.
Wow. There it is.
There
it is.
And ladies and gentlemen, James is your... No, actually, it's a tie, right?
Yeah, Scallions forces
the tie. Off tie.
Scallions forces the tie. Wow, so nothing but streaks. 2 straight wins for Scallions, so 4 straight for James, and then 2 straight on gallery for Scallions at the end. And that was a big risk. I'm really surprised that James shot. You see, it seemed like he shot very confidently. It seemed like he was really convinced that Orange Dress had taken the list. It was a white test. And I think I didn't see the login time, see whether or not he was gulping right afterwards. I think he probably was, though, because he's probably thinking crap. White purloin. Although if you're going to do a white purloin, gallery's not a terrible map to do it on.
That's true.
But forces a tie.
From that position.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Boy, not a whole lot to say there. Hopefully the players can hop in the chat when they're done talking with each other and let us in on some of their thought process. That was really good. Fearful Ferret asking if everything was swept in favor of who picked it. No, but we don't actually know who the picks and what the picks and bans were. They weren't conveyed to us.
Indeed.
They should be in chat.
But they did mix it up a little bit, yeah.
I'll check it out for you guys, but it should be in chat. We'll take a look here.
We'll find it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so bans were... Let's see. We had James ban Crowded Pub 3-4, Scallions bans Balcony 2-3, James bans Modern 2-3, Scallions bans High Rise 3-5. James picks Courtyard 2, so he swept his own map there.
Scallions won the first 2.
Scallions won.
Oh, okay.
Scallions
so Scallions swept that. So then Scallions picked Pan Up 5-7, and James swept that.
Yeah.
And then James picked New Art Ballroom, and James swept that as well. And then Scallions picked Gallery, and he swept that.
So they both went 2-2 on their own map choices.
Yeah.
So no noticeable advantage from the picked maps, and a clear theme from both of them on the bans, which is none of them want to play the Softail game.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so we are waiting now for Wodar versus RJWUT, which will be our next match. So as soon as those guys are ready to go, we'll get you started here. I don't know if Wodar is going to be using the Wodar second name will use all 32 bits username or the normal Wodar username. Fine with me.
Oh, you mean whether or not he's going to be using the name that's technically entered into the tournament rather than the one that isn't? I don't know who this imposter is, but I don't think he's actually joined the league under this name.
That's a good point. I hadn't considered.
I just want to say, if you want to get technical on him, this guy's not in the league. So
I know it's Wodar. It's fine. I'll make a judgment call on that one.
Fair enough.
Oh man. All right. So Wodar. Wodar is a man who notoriously enjoys the Softail game.
Right. Yes. Well, you say that, but I think it's more fair to say that he just enjoys being contrary, because sometimes on maps where it makes a lot of sense to do the Softails, they'll all be turned off, and a whole bunch of hardtails will be turned on. So I'd say the main he likes Softails insofar as other people don't like to do
sniping against Softails.
He likes sniping at Softails, and he likes doing things other people don't do. That's the
Yeah.
only grand unifying theory of Wodar, is doing things that other people don't do or don't like. Usually that is the Softails. Sometimes it's nothing but hardtails. But one thing we can say for sure is that he pretty much always wants to play balcony. So you want to ban it against him, if at all possible. Unless you're one of the handful of people who likes it almost as much as he does.
Wodar likes doing some crazy stuff, as is evidenced by Spy on the Hill.
Yes. Right.
Oh my god, don't remind me. That last match. Like 3 hours of having to deal with whatever Wodar came up with on the spot.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
little by the seat of the pants, that last one. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So they're still picking their bands. It's going to be probably a couple of minutes.
Picking their bands. I like that.
Yeah. Or banning their picks. Either
go.
way.
Yeah.
It all
Yep,
works.
that's true. Or doing both of those.
Yeah, right.
So, RJ Watt. RJ Watt is...
Okay, Wodar's getting the
I
picks of
don't
bands.
know
about the dog,
as
but
much
whatever.
about his playstyle as I do about Wodar.
RJ what or RJW? I want to say RJ what too.
I have to
RJW
say what. I have to say
of
what.
Utah, I believe he's RJW and he's from Utah. He's still not. I mean, he's been around in the community a long time, but doesn't really have the experience that we'd expect for someone who's been around quite as long as he's been. He plays games kind of sparsely, given how much he likes to hang out, how much of a big community member he is. So he's
how
still
many
relatively
people-
inexperienced.
Yeah, how many people, raise your hand, will be very surprised to hear that he has fewer than 800 games?
Yeah,
I
I
thought
would
he
not
have
have predicted
twice
that at all. Yeah, exactly.
Right, not even technically on the leaderboard. Very surprising.
RJ immediately bans Balcony A35. Oh, A35.
Yeah, apparently he's down. He's down to go. Wodar's saying he's randomly banning.
Panop 5 of 8's gone for Wodar.
Well, hang on. Wodar says that he's banning it based on random.org.
Yep.
Now,
which is
on one
exactly
hand,
what Wodar would do.
right? Yeah, it's chaos. It's basically saying
Oh,
it's like
there
playing.
goes Balcony 2-3.
Of course, yeah. So we're seeing the theme here. It's basically like it's the old philosophy that says they can't tell if I'm bluffing if I don't look at my own cards. If it's random, we can't get into the mind games.
Yes.
And RJ Watt says it's okay to call him RJ Watt. So I'm gonna do that.
All right, so we'll see what Wodar's last ban here is in a second.
RJ,
What the dice will roll.
High
Rise 4-7.
Those are
Yeah,
very
they-
normal bans for randomly
Yeah, they
picked
are.
ones.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it's kind of funny that the first one that random.org apparently tells him to ban is something that he doesn't like that much to begin with.
I'll be curious to see if Wodar tries to do Modern. I believe he's on the record as being not a fan of Modern at all.
That's true.
But it is a very balcony-like map, and he is a noted fan of balcony. So we'll see what
I
happens.
totally see him picking double modern.
Double Modern
Right.
is a different animal to
Yeah.
regular Modern and to balcony. It is quite a different game. There are things that are similar, but you have to get off that third tell. And that's a big, big part of that game.
We have our first pick in. RJ Watt picks Gallery 4-7.
Okay.
Gallery's seeing a lot of play this week.
Yeah, it is.
And that's unusual. I really don't know that many players who love Gallery. Some of them like it fine. I don't think too many of them hate it, although more hate it than love it. I can't remember the last time someone picked Gallery, except, of course, this past match. It's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
I like to play on. It's not my favorite map, but I like to play on Gallery just because it's a real campers map. I mean, you can see everything at all times.
Right.
And you can, and it's not obvious what you're looking at any given time. And these are all things that really, really, really help the camping sniper.
Yeah, fine point.
Okay, we have in fact clarified that it is going to be any 4 of 7 on Gallery,
God.
not pick.
Yeah. We should change the name of pick to select or something.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I like Gallery. Gallery's a fun map. It's not my favorite. I tend to like the really wide open maps. I like Panop and I like Veranda, but Gallery, I remember when Gallery first came out, and that was the first art that came out in kind of the 1.5 art style, where it was still the old art, but it was a lot nicer looking.
Yeah.
And it looked really cool.
It did.
Yeah. And it was one of the first that sort of showed us that maps could be fundamentally different from what we'd seen before. The visual occlusion in particular. There have been so many ideas bandied about over the years about different maps, like on a boat, right, or something that rotates, or something that plays with the form a little bit more than just now we're spying in a different building where the bookshelves are in different places.
That's right.
And I think Gallery was maybe the first one to pay off on some of that potential and to give us an idea of how just by changing the angle of the map, you could have it feel like a completely different game. But still retaining the core experience. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but it sort of is both simultaneously. And I remember Gallery, when it worked, I thought, okay, this can work. All these different ideas, it can actually cash the checks that it's been writing with its potential.
Yeah, Gallery and Panopticon I've been huge fans of, just because they follow that design pattern of let's do something that presents a really unique challenge to the spy and sniper.
And very interesting that neither of them required much tuning after the fact. A lot of us said, well, let's see how it works. Maybe we'll have to fiddle with some of it. But it really hasn't been necessary.
Yeah, I think the most powerful balance tool we have is getting to choose what the mission layout is. That almost balances any map you can think of. All right, Brian to A57 is next. Speaking of Panopticon. That's not Panopticon, but it's as close as it gets.
That's true. Okay.
Wodar says, any pub 3 of 5. He says it with a question mark. I like that, though.
Okay, so I believe that's all our picks. No, we have
Gallery A47. We have Pub A35.
And then Veranda. Now Wodar's got to go for the last one.
Yeah.
Pick Modern. Any 3 of 5. Good luck with that, Spies.
Although he capitalizes pick, so I wonder if it's pick or pick.
I think that means pick.
Okay.
As in actually pick.
Pick. You're certainly right about select.
These are going to be some strange maps. Pub 3-5 is behavioralist paradise.
All right.
He's insisting it's random. I really don't know if it is.
Who knows?
3-5, modern pick 3-5. That sounds like random.org.
That's one of the most spy favorite maps we could possibly have right now.
It sounds like something he would pick, though, too, so I'm not really sure. These random things have actually aligned fairly close to what he might pick on his own, so...
I don't think he'd ever pick.
Well, maybe not. Well, but the fact that he would never do it or nobody else does it, that might be reason enough.
Even Wodar.
Even Wodar. Hey, famous last words, even Wodar.
That's right. All right, I will sign out and we'll wait for these guys to set up and have fun, lads.
All right.
I think we probably will, based on the map choices and the players involved.
Absolutely. Any game with Wodar tends to be a fun one.
Oh, RJ Watt insists that he use the shorter username, and he does. There we go. Okay. So there is justice in the universe. That's good. It's good to know. I was worried about that.
All right. Wodar actually going to be using his official name of Wodar.
Yeah, Wodar literally with 8 times as many games as RJ Watt, but but you know what? But he plays atypically, and RJ Watt watches a lot of streams, pays a lot of attention to the game in general. I think you have to make Wodar the favorite here, but I wouldn't be shocked if RJ Watt is perfectly competitive or even sneaks a win it. Again, only 8 games. The length of the match inherently favors the underdog relative to other setups, so don't count him out completely.
Absolutely. Even though Wodar is the favorite here, RJ Watt can definitely put up a good fight considering how involved he's been with Spy Party, even though if he hasn't been actively playing it a whole heck of a lot.
And Wodar's games, they have more variation in their skill. Drawn Onward, I often say, is very famous for he doesn't have a lot of highs and lows. He plays a very consistent, solid game. He's very good all the time. He's not as likely to have like these crazy, ridiculous things out of nowhere, but he also doesn't blow a lot of games. And I tend to admire that more, actually, because I think all of us are a little more peaks and troughs. But Wodar, probably taking that to the extreme along with Veery.
Yes, I was about to say.
Yeah, it's probably not a coincidence. The more behavioral you are as sniper or spy for that matter, I think the more variation you're going to get in game quality.
Yeah.
And we're off.
All right. And away we go. Starting things out here, RJ Watt little bit of an odd path in the time of chaos as he comes through there, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. Tick off microfilm, gets the bug. What is that path at the back?
I don't know, but I'm not sure he got in any trouble for it.
Yeah, it looks like it came off clean. Wardar not quite able to see it. Out the red book here. So probably looking to delay a bit and then go for a hard transfer, unless he tries to microphone here at the painting.
Well, he's pretty visible. He's right in the center here, and we're seeing Wodar do sort of that maneuver where if you zoom in, you get the top of the conversation out front and pretty much everything else. So you really only give up the potential time adds or anything out front in front of the gallery. You were seeing a lot of that. Wodar spending almost all his time in that position. And there, he's going to try to dump it in the other shelf. Wodar doesn't seem to have noticed.
All right, so...
No, he puts it back. No, I'm sorry. He put the book back.
Yeah.
No, oh my goodness, I completely forgot. Apologies. He turned microfilm off. I'm really...
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Forgot
really
about
not,
that.
well, now I'm wondering
forgot.
if I'm wondering if he remembered himself, actually.
Yeah. That's his... Isn't that his second statue visit and his second inspect?
Yes, this is very unusual.
What in the hell? All right, hits a green. Oh, gets shot. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
Okay.
wow.
So no, I went back and checked on the replay. No, I'm not crazy. He took a red book out and put it in blue, even though microfilm was turned off. I wasn't just misremembering there. He did microfilm and got no credit for it, basically.
Oh yeah, he did.
I don't know if Wodar caught it or not. Boy, bizarre game. I can't wait to hear what was going on there. It's entirely possible he forgot. I guess I can't think of any other reason to do it.
And I mean, this is first statue.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm at a loss though as to the bookshelf there. By the way, Wodar 21 lowlights. Not really sure what was going on there. That's one of the weirder games I've seen in a while. Fair to say.
Yeah, that was very, very strange. But yeah, Wodar got the bug really fast. Now he's heading out front. So this is a good start from Wodar getting that early bug in, because bug is not necessarily the easiest mission to do on this map.
Yeah, it can be pretty hard, although if you're patient and you kind of hang out by the paintings, the Amba is almost definitely going to walk by you and let you do one of the stationary ones, and it can be pretty hard to see because the sniper just cannot get much of an angle on it.
Yeah, that's very true.
But you have to be patient again. On the other hand, a good sniper knows to look for it, but even if you are, boy, you really have to kind of sell out on looking at it for a while.
Yeah. After that bug, though, Wadar's been playing this incredibly slowly. He isn't getting anything done since then. Now stepping into statue, likely looking for a flirt here. Don't think it's going to be a very good one. Yeah, 17%. That's about as bad as it gets. That is as bad as it gets. But it is a flirt. So there's that.
Yeah, he's keeping it moving with part of the inspect done, part of the seduce done. This could come together pretty quickly, but he really needs to get one more flirt in. That'll help tremendously. Yeah, smart not to go to bookshelves here. No idea if the seduction target's going to stay long enough. Probably not going to.
Yeah. Indeed. Oh, and RJ Watt takes a bad shot there. And
yeah, I'm going to look
goes
here
up
again.
2-0.
Yeah, snaps had just come from statues. And gone right to the gallery. Went to the paintings in the gallery after that. He was already highlighted before he'd gone to statues, too. So he'd been to statues twice. He visited early on, so it was a second statue visit. I guess that was just enough.
Yeah. Looks like it.
Yep, and that's going to be is it? Geez, yeah, 2-0.
Catherine noting that our faces aren't currently on stream.
Well, why even watch then if you can't look at our handsome faces?
No. All right.
Isn't that why people tune in the first place?
All right, onward to pub. We're going to pub. We're going to pub. I don't remember seeing pub on the picks list. Maybe that's just me being crazy.
They did, but there was a lot to keep track of course.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so swap and fingerprint are coming off. This is RJ Watt spying first, I believe.
Yep, it appears that way.
Takes off one hardtail, one softail. I definitely agree with taking off swap. It's really tough to get away with on this one. You don't even have the thing where there's other statues next to it, so you can sort of maybe hide. Try to remember. Well, which one was it? Which one was 1? Which one was 2? Was it 2-1 or 1-2? You get that a lot. Not here. Only 2 statues.
Yep.
All by themselves. It's pretty hard to get away with swap.
And this is not crowded pub, so the purloin is it's definitely trackable.
Yeah, right.
So.
And our heads are back. Hey.
Yep.
All right.
All right, made it. So. RJ Watt starting things off with a quick 34% flirt and playing things. Uh-oh.
Oh, we might have a connection problem with the game. It is buffering, yeah.
Okay, I was worried my internet just died.
No, it's not just you. I think there might be a problem. Oh, and both players have left. I think the match died.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, we're back. We're back to lobby.
All right. Well, it looks like they have a connection problem. They're going to try to get back in there, and we'll see what happens. Nothing to really talk about in that game there. Wodar obviously sweeps Gallery. Gallery, worth noting, was RJ Watt's pick, and he loses both of them.
I know Wodar has been having weird things occur with his internet today because I was playing Rocket League with him earlier. So quite likely that was Wodar's internet blowing up.
Seems like a safe assumption. And he is disconnected now, too, or at least he's out of the lobby. Now, he might need to leave and then come back. But now, thankfully, I don't think it's going to affect anything. There really was nothing significant that happened in that game, and nothing particularly good or bad.
I agree.
So I don't feel like there's any advantage or disadvantage. RJ was pointing out that his ST was walking right up to him, but in the broad scheme of things, pretty minor difference. So I don't think anything's really lost by restarting the game in all likelihood.
I would tend to agree.
Okay, so Track, you've got to be a little bit earlier than usual, or you've got to take a quick break right now. It sounds like sooner the better. Is that accurate?
Sure, that would certainly help. Yeah.
Okay, how about I will take over for the rest of this live cast for you, and then we will have you do me versus Seizure Man if and when you come back.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, back in a little bit.
All
right.
Okay, let's get rid of that webcam, and you can stay in the call if you want. Track, you are now off camera, and you can just mute yourself if you want. That way we don't have to arrange things later.
Will do.
Alrighty.
Wicked. So, interesting to change the plans.
Okay, so Tobo, I will put you over here, and over here, and I'll bring myself in right here.
All right.
My hair is bad, as usual.
Wodar is able to get back in here without too much issue.
I don't see him back yet.
Yeah, me neither. It's quite possible that his internet just sort of exploded.
I suppose it is. I don't know what we're going to do if we don't get Wodar back. We could just move on to the next match if you want, and then we can see if he comes back. We can jump right back in.
That is a possibility.
All right, well, let's just do that, and that way we can lose the minimum amount of time on this stream.
Okay.
All right, so next up, I'll go to the splash screen real quick here. Next up, let us pull up. And we'll jump right back into the live match if and when it comes up. Let's go to Teetery versus Brad.
All right, just let me download the replay set.
Yep. And I will sit here on the opening, and if Wodar comes back, hopefully we will know, and we will go right back to it. Score was 2-0 at the point that the match ended, and we were on pub.
All right.
Okay, so we have Brad, we have Teetery, and this is down in, I believe, Copper Division, where Ferret has been reigning supreme, undefeated. The only player to run the table through the first 5 weeks. Ferret played 4 matches, won 4 matches, and that's intimidating.
Absolutely.
Right. So, Toba, if you want to count it down, or are you ready yet on Brad v. Teeter? You've got it downloaded?
I am indeed. We're starting things off on Double Modern, a 3 of 5, it looks like.
Yep, count it down when you're ready.
Brad on the Spy, Teetering on the Sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Does not choose to go to the seduction target there, interestingly, and not close enough for the conversation bug.
Yeah, that was a very unusual start coming out of Brad. Does get a bug coming through. I don't know about that one.
It looks like it wasn't particularly visible. It might have been a good idea. The only the laser is lingering on his head, but that might just be incidental. I think the only suspicious thing about that bug, really, from the angle I saw, was that it was kind of a weird early leave.
Yeah.
Wodar is back in the lobby. We'll finish this game, and then we'll continue on.
Okay.
All right. So we'll move on from this. We'll get one of these games cast.
Yeah.
And that way we can save some time later.
Okay.
This is kind of like NFL Network, but for Spy Party.
Yeah.
Just think of it that way. You're getting added value, cutting to the hot live takes. All right. Well, once we finish this match or this game, we'll be right back with you. All right, so we've got, I like that move. He starts the banana bread before the DA enters the conversation, and it's a fake that turns into a real.
Yeah, that was a cool little move.
He is currently in line for the 3 flirt if they're all minimum range with whites, but he's just going to go for the 4 flirt and or try to get a green. Does have the time to do this. Going to need to leave that CC pretty soon, though.
Yeah, looks like, so... 58% on the flirt, about a minute left to play. He might actually try to timer flirt this, but it's going to be very risky. Nope, he does decide.
Yeah, I don't think he can. I don't think he can go all in on that. Plus, you want to have that flirt happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, now if you white test it, you still got a good chance. Yeah, he's greens it anyway, so we'll see if he's able to pull it out. Doesn't look like there's much suspicion on him, so Brad, look, oh, there's the laser, but no shot. All right, so Brad will indeed win the first game, but never mind about that, because we're back to Wodar versus RJW.
We are. All right, back in on the pub once more. A 3 of 5 as before. No swap or fingerprint for RJ Watt, and we'll be underway shortly.
All right, spectating, and let me bring up, or no, we're ready to go here on pub.
That we are. That we are.
No swap, no fingerprint is going to be RJW's choice. Very interesting to cut fingerprint on any 3 of 5. Decides to leave in Purloin, which is usually a good move on Crowded Pub, because that's a brutal mission to track on Crowded Pub.
Absolutely. Yeah. Doing this on Crowded Pub, it's just there's so many people walking around, so many people coming to and from the bar.
Oh, we lost it.
Okay, I didn't think it was supposed to be Crowded Pub. I thought it was regular.
Oh, it's regular.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, okay. Yes, indeed.
So that's why the remake, because it's the wrong map.
Still gonna. I'm not sure I like getting rid of fingerprint. Fingerprint is a very, very nice mission on this map. It's tough to say what you'd cut for it, though.
Yeah.
Inspect is comparable to fingerprint in terms of how difficult it is to track. So, defensible, but I really like Fingerprint as a mission for the spy. It's very...
As do I.
It's one of the lowest key missions in the game.
There's a decent argument to be made for actually cutting BB on this one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Good BBs are hard to get off on this mission. Or on this map, I should say.
Yeah.
I would probably cut Purloin because I'm insane and I just like to kill Artels. The paranoia factor of having 4 out of your 5 missions be Softails is pretty significant.
That's true.
I think you get a lot of wrong shots just by that. Alright, so it starts right next to the Amba. Not going to try the Time of Chaos bug, though.
Somehow, 4, 5, what is going on?
I think Wodar was just trying to get everyone who was near the Amba there, but he just might be doing random Wodar things, so I don't know.
Everybody but one person is Hylit.
I'm just going to start from Hylit, I guess. Green test, that's going to help.
It will indeed. So 50% on the flirt. That's really nice.
Amba's in line here. He might want to actually do maybe a micro movement away from the drink or leave the drink, come back and get it later. Except no, he's got Fingerprint turned off, so never mind. Flirt is available, but he walks right by it. In line for a good time ad here.
That he is.
And now Wodar rotates, and it ends up being innocent anyway.
Interestingly, opted not to even go for the delegate.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is here for RJW. Is going to walk in? No, he's going to go to the empty CC.
I wonder why he didn't delegate, because even if you let the timer run out, there's basically...
Yeah, there's no reason not to. It doesn't punish you at all for not delegating or anything like that. There's no tell at all associated with it. Maybe setting up a bug here. Wodar in great position, sees it. I think RJ's dead. Yeah.
I caught it.
Yeah, you got to be careful about bugs like that because the sniper is always going to expect them. And if you see that laser lingering down that long hallway, you're in a lot of trouble if you try that bug. Yeah. So 3-0 Wodar now. And he has the lead.
Yeah, that was a good eye from Wodar to see that coming. And unfortunately, RJ Watt just didn't quite notice how on that Wodar was.
Yeah, I didn't know probably that he was Hylit as well, so...
That's true. But then again, everyone was Hylit.
Wodar cutting Seduce of all things.
Wodar.
Oh, yeah, Wodar. That's true. That's a true statement.
Yep.
So he's going to go right for a drink here. Some people like to Purloin right off the bat before the sniper knows what's happened and try to get away with it, but not going to do that. Just going to get a drink with a delegate on it.
Good play there. A little bit of an odd path coming out of the door for Wodar. I don't know why he headed all the way over here.
Oh, that looks unsuspicious. That's
it does.
Yeah.
It definitely looks unsuspicious.
Might be counting on the wrong shot. Gonna walk into another irrelevant CC. Yeah. Sends off Pearls to do the delegate. And then walks away immediately. He's been very active.
What is that path?
Against a behavioral. It was a briefcase cancel. He's okay.
Okay.
So here comes the Purloin, and it's gonna take.
Yep, the Purloin does indeed take.
So RJ does have a track on it.
There's a highlight.
Does have a track on it for sure. And has a low light on the person who actually caused the Purloin to occur. So I think RJW is in pretty good shape.
I think so. I think Wodar's in a very difficult spot.
Yes, indeed.
This Bristol is still Hylit over there.
Yeah, I don't think RJW knows who sent Pearls to do the Purloin, but he knows someone did. And it's either Pearl... Oh, no, don't take that shot. Don't take that shot. Guess is wrong. Did not have to take a guess yet. Needed a little bit more patience there, did RJW. He knew it was one of the two, just needed to watch them for a little while. It is the NE3 of 5, and it's going to be Softails, but goodness.
With the Purloin gone, and her already having noticeably done an inspect.
That's true. If you think that she's done with Seduce, you might have to take a shot there. But
Seduce was off. It would have had to have been having pegged her on a bug.
That's right. Yeah, I don't think you take that shot. I think you got to show a little bit more patience there. It is very tempting to take that shot, especially on 3 of 5. But I think he could. Obviously, we know he could have afforded to waited, but I think even subjectively, he maybe should have waited a little bit longer on that one.
I think so. That was after he caught that Purloin as well as he did. That was RJ Watt's game to lose, and he unfortunately did. So Wodar already ready to put this away.
Yeah, 4-0 looking for the sweep here. And yeah, absolutely RJW's game to lose that last one. He did lose it. He did take what I think was a bad shot, but their luck is involved. At somehow the person who was at statues was the other suspected purloiner. So, things like that can happen. All right, so Wodar is up 4-0, has a chance to sweep it out. Immediate highlight of the spy.
God damn it, Wodar.
And only the spy.
How does that
And no other highlights. I don't know. RJW gets away with the cheese transfer, even though despite being the only highlight, in a really good spot here. If he's in range of the bug, this could be really good. Gets the flirt done. Getting offered the drink. He could get away with a lot here if Wodar's not looking.
He could.
Wodar is looking. Wodar does consider it dangerous. Just going to take an innocent drink. Can't bug now.
Innocent drink take. So that gets rid of the bug opportunity.
Yeah. Here comes the... Oh, no!
Oh, no!
Banana bread.
Oh, it was such a great conversation.
Wodar getting a solid half dozen or so hot low lights off of that as well. That bug wasn't good.
Wodar saw it.
I would have think Wodar would have shot.
That arm was way out there.
Oh, he's not in the combo. Yeah, there we go. He's just waiting for it to come to a stop. So Wodar 5-0 there.
Yep.
Well played by him. Really, he was ahead all those games except for one. RJW did deserve, I think, to take one off of him, but just got a little bit of bad luck and let himself talk himself into a bit of a hasty shot. All right, so 5-0 Wodar, and Wodar will take it home, and I will bring back Mr. Track now, and I will go on silence. So, Tobo, I will see you on the other side.
All right. Has the track returned?
Yes, can you hear me?
There you are.
All right, great. Yeah, so we don't have to wait for anything on this last one. This is a pre-played match with our own Crazy Kaylee, actually.
Absolutely.
Playing the man who has seizures, Seizure Man. I assume that's why he's called that. It's a terrible condition. They've already played that match, and I guess to avoid the strangeness of casting your own match, it probably makes sense that we do it for him and criticize him mercilessly for every mistake, of course. I don't know if he's provided us with the pick bands. If he's still on the line there, maybe he could tell us briefly.
Yes, indeed. Let me go ahead and find them for you here in just a moment.
Yeah.
I know at least where they can be found quickly, and that's on the forum. So I'll go ahead and do that.
Yes. And this is Diamond. A Seizure Man, by the way, is all the way up to, let me see here, 6th place on the leaderboard with 8,258 games. My goodness, he is way up there now.
And
that's a lot of Spy Party.
I should note the only player in Diamond who has won all his games to date.
Wow.
Has not drawn any games, has not lost any games.
There we go.
Okay, so we have Seizure Man had the first ban. He banned Pub 4 of 7.
Okay.
I had the next ban, and predictably I banned Balcony 2 of 3. Seizure Man bans Gallery 4 of 7. I ban Modern 2-3. Seizure Man picks up on my next remaining weakness that I would have banned if I could have, and picks Double Modern 3 of 5.
Right.
I pick Panop 5 of 8. Seizure Man picks High Rise 3 of 5, which is another thing that I would have banned had I had more bans. And then I picked New Art Ballroom 4 of 8.
So incredibly straightforward analysis that anyone could give, but hey, I'll be the one to give it. You tried banning maps with Softails. He tried banning maps where you could camp Hardtails effectively, and you also picked the converse in the second rounds.
Yeah, the only interesting pick I would say, if I can analyze myself for a second, is the New Art Ballroom 4 of 8. Not typically a thing that I would normally pick, but something that I've kind of feared as a weakness so much that it's not a map I want to ban given what I have to ban in this format. So I've been practicing it a lot, and I've got so comfortable with it I actually felt like I wanted to pick it.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Right, and there's the constant thing of, you want to ban certain things, but if the person you're playing has even a moderately similar play style, you don't want to make it too easy on them either.
That's right.
So there are maps where they might not be your first choice, but maybe you're going to be a little better at threading the needle, for example.
Yeah, and I feel like compared to most people, I've got a little bit more New Art Ballroom experience because I've been playing that map pretty dedicatedly. So I thought I had some relative advantage going on there, but we will see what happens.
We were among the very first people to play it, and we got quite a crash course there for a few days, didn't we?
We did indeed. sometimes with literal crashes. All right, here we go. I will turn it back over to you guys. Good luck.
Wonderful. All right. So it is going to be starting things off with Kaylee on the spy and Siegeman and the sniper on double modern, any 3 of 5. Let's see how Kaylee is able to deal with one of his not so favorite maps.
Yeah.
As Siegeman steps into the sniper role in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I like the different pronunciations of Seizure Man's name. If it's a username or a superhero name, it's Seizure Man. But if it's a last name, it's Seizureman.
Oh, that was a interesting little bug attempt. I think he thought Seizureman was going to rotate a little bit farther than he did.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Seizureman caught that bug. He just wasn't quite confident enough to take the shot for it. Then
yeah.
The briefcase grab was enough.
Sorry, you cut out there just a bit. Yeah, doing a lot of missions all at once, and you almost can't resist, right? Everything was lining up so well, except for the fact that the bug, his back was to the sniper. If you flip the conversation, everything is perfect. But it's understandable. It's a good high-risk, high-reward move. I have no problem with it, even though it didn't happen to work out.
Yeah. What I really liked was Seizureman's movement. It looked like he was going to have a little bit more cover than he did if Seizureman kept moving across. But when Seizureman stopped, he had just enough of an angle to catch the movement of the bug.
Yeah, and we talk about the latency all the time. You really do have to at least occasionally try to make a guess at the latency. Even if that's going to be a little imprecise, it's reasonable to say, okay, a lot of the time I'm going to have enough cover, so I'm going to try this. And if it works, I'm pretty much going to win the game. So I don't mind the decision at all, but in this case, not quite precise enough.
Indeed. So Seizureman takes the first game. Let's move on to the second one. Seizureman on the spy, Kaylee on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1. You seem to really pronunciation of Seizureman. I'm gonna keep calling it Seizureman. I don't care.
Okay. I'll keep calling it
I'm
Seizureman.
Canadian.
And yeah. Well, not a whole lot going on, just a standard flirt here, but he's above 32, 34. You get in that range, and you've given yourself the option to finish a normal amount of time at least.
That's true.
Pretty much a neutral start.
And you don't really have to take things too quickly on this map.
No, you can take your time with the flirt. In fact, you really shouldn't. As tempting as it is to go over and flirt right then, I'm not even sure you should. It's one of the things you can get caught for, and you usually don't have to. Although, he did take a lot of time to get the first one, so he might not have an option. I like this. Splitting the difference here, by the way. A little farther away, but not so far away that he doesn't give himself options. Less suspicious. And there's the BB, and the DA lives right after.
So does the ST, though, unfortunately.
Wow. Well, I don't know if that's necessarily bad, though. It makes the ST look kind of suspicious.
That's true.
I don't know. I think that BB went pretty well all told, but yeah, he is going to miss that flirt pretty soon.
Yeah. So, only a minute and 10 left as well, so he's got to motor a bit. Oh, no! Red test on the purloin! Blinky, blinky, blinky. Not seen, I don't think.
Not seen? No, not seen at all. He's looking at it, but he didn't actually see the flash.
Didn't see the blink, but did see the vanish.
Right. Did see it gone, but didn't actually see the blink. Toby just started moving too much. His neck was blocking it near the end, but does see that it's gone. And here's the thing. Look at where he is in the conversation. There's nobody around him. There's no cover. It's not one of those things where you can say it's one of these 2 or 3 people. That's a victory. It's someone else's choice of maps, and it's something he wouldn't have picked. So that is absolutely a win. It's like splitting your 2 road games in a best-of-7 series.
Absolutely. All right, so Kaylee stepping in to Panop. This one was his choice. It's going to be any 5 of 8. So all missions available for Seizureman to guard. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And just as we were saying, it was sort of a moral victory there, a bit of a victory for Kaylee to split those 2. It'll certainly be the same here with Seizureman.
That's true.
At this point, you want to play, obviously you're playing to win every game, but a split would be just fine here.
Ooh, that it would be. And Kaylee's going to get a pretty nice start here. Goes for the green swap as well.
Interesting choice. Now, what's he going to do? Is he going to hang around for a while? He might be thinking that it wasn't memorized in time. I'm not really sure. Not going to try to finish the inspects. And by the way, yeah, he does have his flirt done, though. There we go. Ooh, picks up quick.
Yeah, that's an interesting decision.
Well, not just moving to statue, but again, he picked up almost instantly. Again, maybe this is just something I'm unusually focused on these days. Does just the one cycle, too. I might have gone 2 there myself, but not going to try to finish up the flirt right away, though.
That's very true.
Let's see if he goes back for it, though. Oh, he can't resist.
He can't resist.
Getting both flirts done. If he can 2-flirt here, both flirts done while doing a different action, that would really be nice.
Yeah.
And it's a green. Yeah, he's got it.
Beautiful. Beautifully played.
I don't think he was planning on finishing the flirt up that quickly, a little suspicious, but he's thinking, oh man, bookshelves too? Now, he doesn't do anything with it, but it's just such a great cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here's a great chance for the BB. Pretty full conversations too. This is a really good time. Wow.
Man, this has been a really nice game from Kaylee so far. He's been nailing all of this.
And everything's lining up for him too, and he's just pouncing on it every time it does. Oh,
Indeed.
But not this time. He hasn't BB'd yet. The thing is, there's a few people out of conversation. We know they're lowlights by and large, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's narrowed down the party there, probably from that swap. So, ooh, there's the bug. Oh, and it looks like he got away with it too.
That was real nice.
And that's really going to help because I think the BB might have actually been a cue to shoot there. It looks like he narrowed down the party a fair bit, possibly based on that swap.
Well, let's see what happens here.
He's only got 1 more to go here. It'd be interesting to see if he tries to fingerprint. Purloin, pretty viable in this map. I think he's going to BB instead, though.
He does indeed, and there's the countdown.
Stop talk. Oh, I don't think he's going to shoot. He's low lighting instead of shooting. That's usually a sign that he's not going to take a shot.
I agree.
And there it is.
There it is.
Now,
so I figured out what's going on with my mic.
Okay.
So here's what's happening. Skype has decided that even though I have it set to not automatically adjust my microphone settings, that it's still going to automatically adjust my microphone volume every time I talk.
Okay.
So every time I talk, I have to move my gain back up again.
Got it. Okay.
Thanks,
well,
Skype.
That's a shame. Technology,
Yes.
everybody.
Oh, Skype.
So Kaylee with a good win. Definitely, the stars were definitely aligned on that. But as we always say, you still have to take advantage, and he absolutely did. Good instincts there at the end with the BB. In that scenario, there were a fair number of lowlights, but as it turns out, also a fair number of highlights. And that's okay. That's okay. That's actually more important. You need there to be several highlights so that 2 or 3 people are in conversation when that BB goes off, because then they can't just say, you know what, time to shoot. And that's what happens there. He figures he can take a little more time to narrow it down, especially because he'd been moving quickly. If he hadn't been moving as quickly and it was closer to the end of the game, he might have had to force a shot, but he didn't have to. He thought maybe he could just narrow it down a little bit, not realizing that Kaylee was done.
Someone in the chat actually apparently found a way to stop Skype from being a jerk. So I'm going to try to do that while the next game gets underway. So you might be on your own for the first little bit, all right?
Oh, I'll think of something.
All right, let's get this thing underway in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Oh, God, what do I say? I have no idea what to say. Please, somebody help me. Seizure Man playing red plaid, does a standard collision and then right into a seduce. Pretty standard, as we always talk about. Ooh, leaves quickly, though. You pretty much always want to get that first seduce off, especially on a pan-op where so few players, even once you try to track flirt, are going to be able to effectively pair people that early on. So it's basically like he started off with that 34% flirt because he got out of there so quick, and now he's going to come right back and do the exact same thing. Instant talk, pretty much. Not worried about getting caught at all. Even stop talking, although that one was perfectly fine with the interrupt. And a fake BB to cover a green purloin. Let's see if he gets the heck out of there, because the drink is offered to the person right next to him. Gets a reject from Snaps. That's going to help, but this chain is going to go a little while, maybe. Now, let's see. Oh, the third person takes it, though, and he's still in the general area. That's troubling a little bit. There's the purloin, and I think Kaylee probably sees it, and he threw off a highlight for Snaps. Snaps was the second rejector. Seizure Man has a highlight. No, gets knocked down. Oh, back up. Just a misclick. So it looks like Kaylee actually has really narrowed it down based on that purloin. It's early enough that he is wisely not really picking someone yet, but it looks like he's got it down to the 2 rejectors. He was tracking purloin, it seems, very closely, and he's confident it was a green because he's low-lit the eventual taker, Buckswaggle. He's got it down to just Snaps and Seizurman now, and that's going to be a big problem because at this point, I don't know if he knows it, but he's hanging pretty cool there, so I don't think he's doing much. He might realize he's a big suspect. If he does, his only hope is to do very little and hope that Snaps gets himself shot.
Well, one can only hope. It seems that the fix has not helped. So I'm just going to keep on cranking up my gain every time Skype's a jerk.
All right, fair enough. Now, Seizure Man, I don't know if he's going to be able to get all his inspects done here because he's picking up at the exact same time as Pladress. He'll definitely get at least 2 if he wants them.
Yeah.
But he'll have to wait an abnormally long time to get that 3rd one.
Does he want to stay for the third cycle?
Nope.
It doesn't
He's
look
gonna
like
swap
he does.
instead. He does a green swap instead.
Let's see what happens here. This should be interesting.
He's staying in the general area. Ooh, Snaps is near the statue, and I was thinking maybe for a second there he would be the one magneted over, but he's not.
Wouldn't that have been awesome?
Now, I don't know if he was paying enough attention to try to orchestrate that.
Oh, yeah, that was quite obviously a green swap, too.
Yeah, that's a shame. And a low light does it. And here's the thing. Snaps is in the general area, though, so if Kaylee's not sure, he might still think he could have swapped.
Yeah, I don't think Kaylee knows.
He hasn't shot yet. I think that's the problem. I think Snaps being in the area is just enough to make him not want to shoot for that. And he's been watching both of them closely enough that he's pretty confident neither's going to be finished yet. But this statue visit here, this second statue visit here, that might do it. And
yeah, that's enough. There it goes.
Wow, Kaylee saying in chat he did not even notice the swap. He was just trying to watch Bug far too closely.
Okay.
But the second statue visit is his demise. Obviously, that game is all about the Purloin. Kaylee's tracking the green Purloin very effectively, knows it's green, has it down to 2 people because that's how long the chain was. And at that point, it's almost a matter of time. Unless the AI does something very suspicious, he's going to lose that. You can't give a camping sniper that kind of suspect list, just 2 early in the game, and hope to win.
Yes.
So I don't have any problem with the green Purloin. I do think maybe he should have gotten the heck out of there. He hung around a little bit long. I don't know if it would have made any difference, but I think it would have been a better risk to take. But at that point, it just comes down to making a perfectly fine decision, hitting the AT test, but Kaylee just tracking it perfectly.
Absolutely. And Kaylee winds up sweeping Panop, so he's up 3-1 now as you step into High Rise.
Yeah, sweeps the 2 games he picked. That's what you expect. And but now, Seizureman, kind of on his home court, a chance to bring it back.
High Rise, any 3 of 5. Let's see how this turns out. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Kaylee has a chance to really put things away here by winning one of Seizureman's chosen maps to force at least a tie. He looks like he's going for an early microfilm. He's hidden behind that screen, but that is very suspicious, and he gets out of there pretty quick with that book. Ooh, gets a low light for it, but gets marked.
I think that was supposed to be a mark. The book did get marked in the end.
Yeah, I think it might have been a misclick. Let's see if he bumps it back up. Hard to say here. It's entirely possible he has his own strategy, too, where he lowlights people he's checking on to remind him about books and highlights for something else, especially when parties are smaller. The smaller the number of guests and the more soft-held the game mode, the more idiosyncratic highlight and lowlight styles you're going to see. The less you can rely on highlights and lowlights at face value.
That's very true. Now that he's putting this book back, we might see him get neutral it once again.
Yeah, let's see here. Hiding behind again. Really interesting, by the way, that he's hiding behind the screen there when he's putting the book back and not doing anything with it. You think at that point you want to be a little more visible.
Yeah.
Ooh, can he resist the bug? He does.
He is not yet neutral lit. Isn't that interesting? So it looks like the low light took.
Yeah, and all he's got is a fingerprint for it, though. That's the thing. I don't think he knows he's low lit. That's the problem. Getting low lights is valuable, but unless it happens after you do something that's specifically designed to get a low light, you usually don't guess it, and you're not correspondingly more aggressive. And we're seeing that now with 2 minutes left. He's got 1 fingerprint, and that's it. But with 3 of 5, he can still finish it. But if you don't know you're low lit, you're probably still going to be very careful.
Very true. Very true. And Kaylee hasn't really gotten a whole lot done so far. He's got 1 minute and 30 left, so he's still got some time. But he's starting to run out of his margin. There's the highlight! Out of seemingly nowhere for center statue.
Yeah, lowlights just don't mean as much in this game mode. They really don't when you have a heavy soft-tail focus. I will say, though, again, even though it seems like he's wasted a lot of time, you really can rush at the end with this 3 of 5 setup.
Absolutely.
Gets all his inspects done and finishes the fingerprint, and just like that. See, that's how quick 3 of 5 can turn. Now, you usually don't want to put yourself in that position anyway, but Kaylee got a pretty good sense of timing. Doesn't matter, though. Wow.
Oh
Wow.
my, oh my.
Center statue visit. I think he might have been tracking the fingerprint a little closer when you give him credit for. And that's a big win for Seizure Man. Instead of going down 4-1 and having to fight just for a tie, he's now 1 game down, and they're still on his map.
Okay, then. So, interesting stuff here. Let's see if Siegeman can tie this thing on up as we step into the next one. Siegeman is on the spy here, so it's going to be a little bit tougher, although he does have the Softel heavy game to fall back on. So we'll see how this turns out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now, Microfilm is off, Swap is off, Purloin is off. Seizure Man's really going... He's not making any secret of his strategy here. Obviously, having picked this map, we know he's going heavy on the Softels, but he's following through on it. Sometimes we see something a little weird, again, from Wodar sometimes, where they'll pick a setup that's conducive to Softels, but then turn a few of them off. In this case, no trickery, 3 Hardtails off. You got to figure that if he in this situation, it's the kind of thing where you'll do a bug if there's a good opportunity, but other than that, you're just going to do Softails, and Kaylee's going to probably have to shoot the first person who could be done.
Indeed. Indeed.
And he is laying very low early on, and again, you can do that on this with 3 of 5. We saw last game, for example, Kaylee laid low pretty much the whole time, just kept his options open, and then started completing missions very quickly at the end. He got shot for it, but the timing wasn't the issue. It's really about whether or not you have the discipline as Spy and the expertise to move quickly when you have to. It's hard for some, but for both of these players, they definitely have enough skill in terms of timing that they can afford to wait towards the end if they want to.
Gets the fingerprint off on the statue. Is he going to get all inspects? I think he's going to have to 3-cycle. No, he doesn't get all of his inspects done on this.
Oh, you know, on a Softel focus mission, you're probably going to Softel focus setup rather. You're going to be a little more hesitant to go that extra cycle at statues because they're going to be watching that much more closely.
Indeed.
You can get away with an extra cycle on a lot of maps, especially Panop, when they're tracking hardtails or something, but when you know they're already only looking at a few things, and all softails pretty much, that much riskier to try to stay too long, I think. Probably the right decision there. But that second statue visit's going to be so dangerous later. On the other hand, you look at Kaylee's highlights right here. He's got 3 of them in a relatively small party. Not a great place to be. If he can get that down one, it would make all the difference.
And still no mission completions with only 1 minute and 15 left to play.
Yeah, but parts of all 3 seems pretty likely that he's only going to break out the BB if time ends up being a real issue or fingerprint doesn't cooperate, for example.
Indeed. We'll see what winds up happening here.
And Seizure Man basically confirming in chat, that it wasn't worth the risk to go an extra cycle, even though you usually get away with it. Not on this setup. If you're going to get busted, it's going to be here. There's the BB. One of Kaylee's highlights is eliminated. That's big.
That is big.
You can't expect him to know that, but that's huge. Whether or not you get already people who are already low let out of conversation, or even just neutral lights. In this case, getting a highlight down, big deal, because now he's only got 2 with 36 seconds left, and he might have to time out here. Oh wow, went to Windows and
immediately left.
I think he might have been making a play for the briefcase there. Hard to say.
I think he was making a play for the flirt.
Boy,
there it is. Flirt is done.
And he's got either inspect or fingerprint. Which is it going to be?
It's going to be the inspect.
Wow, really lucky Boots didn't stop at that statue, by the way.
That said, he's not going to get this done in time, so it's going to be overtime.
Yeah, by the way, that was a fingerprintable statue, too. He could have done either one. There's the mission win countdown.
Dance! Dance!
Oh, wow!
Oh!
The wrong person.
That was a bad shot.
Wow. Shoots Damon instead, and that is a huge break for Seizureman. It looked like he for a good chunk of that game he had a lot of options, but things did not come together quickly enough, and Kaylee pounced all over it. That second statue visit, failing to get the inspects done in one move, almost cost him huge. Now Kaylee at that point,
man.
Now here's the thing, Kaylee at that point doesn't have a great sense of how many seconds he has, right? He knows it's going to be overtime, or knows it's going to be near the end like that. I think it was, 2.2 it ended up being, something like that? Something like that. He had 3 more seconds, but he doesn't really know exactly how many he has. It's not like someone he was watching went to statues with 1 second left and then it went into overtime, right?
Yeah.
He'd been at statues for a few seconds, and that makes all the difference in the world because he doesn't know if he has 8 seconds, 2 seconds, and I think that forces him to rush his shot just a little bit more, and wow, you do not see that often.
Indeed.
3-all.
Oh my, oh my. Let's jump into the last set here. This is going to be Kaylee's pick. It's Ballroom, any 4 of 8.
Yeah.
Is Kaylee starting things on the spy, Siegeman on the sniper. Let's see how this goes. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and I think at this point, Seizure Man's got to be a little happy. Kaylee earned that split.
Kaylee also got the swap.
Swap immediately, and I think he probably got away with it.
I think so. He's got certainly a wide enough character to get it done.
And so much cover early on. I'll be very impressed. I'll be very impressed. Seizure Man's capable of it, but if he caught that, that'll be very impressive.
Absolutely. Quick 34% on the flirt, too. Kaylee is getting stuff done real fast here.
Yeah, oh, there comes some lowlights. Ooh.
And in the red.
Green Purloin, though.
And a BB, too, to cover it up.
Oh,
and an attempted bug, but it does not come off. But wow, he's doing everything all at once.
Oh, man, wouldn't that have been amazing? Purloin finally does come off. There it is. It is seen.
By the way, he was going to do bug with parts of 2 other missions that would have been his 4th mission already done.
I know.
Which, by the way, that really tells you that it was not planned at all. It was totally an impulse. He's got 2 inspects done and a third of a seduce done, and either of those would have been his 4th mission. He would have wasted all that just for that bug, but you have to do it in the moment. You don't really have time otherwise. Still didn't quite get it done in time, but now, hopefully, if he can just finish up this flirt, I don't think Kaylee has it narrowed down enough to get him for the flirt.
And he does get it up to 68%. He does get a highlight for the Purloin there, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I don't think he narrowed it down enough here. And that's kind of what you're doing. If you miss the Purloin, that's perfectly understandable. We talked about this earlier in the night. But if you can rule out several people or get several strong highlights that you're pretty confident in, that could be almost as good. You can just be delaying the win. But in this case, oh, wow, bump back down for just hanging around long enough, I think.
Yeah, this is Kaylee's game.
It's funny. What he wants to do is sit around and just wait for the flirt timer. That happens to be something nice and non-conspicuous that happens to get him neutral lit anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And there's the last flirt, and that's going to be the game.
Yeah, I have to highlight there at the end. I think you might have put 2 and 2 together, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now Kaylee's going to get at least a tie. The only thing I can really critique there is that bug. I think that bug was a pure impulse move, an understandable one because you don't have long to decide. But he had parts of 2 other missions done, each of which would have been his final mission, and it could have really cost him if he'd been caught.
Very true.
Once it didn't take, he did the right thing by just staying put, and he figures if the Seek doesn't leave, then just hang around long enough to do the flirt, and that's what he does.
Absolutely, and it worked out perfectly. So Kaylee is up 3-4. Kaylee on the sniper side, playing for the win, which is exactly where he wants to be. Siegeman on the spy side, playing for a draw. Let's see what happens here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And remember, Kaylee was saying this map and mode, he didn't pick explicitly to his strengths on this one. And because it's 4 of 8, Seizure Man is not at a huge disadvantage here. Oh, wow, instant Purloin. White test. Let's see if he gulps or leaves. He's doing neither. There's the gulp. There's the gulp.
Don't think Kaylee's seen it yet. Just now he sees it. The list is gone.
Oh, boy. Let's see what his instincts are. Good instincts.
Gets a good highlight.
And by instincts, I mean, how much could I have missed that by? He couldn't have missed it by too much because it was so quick. But he could have still said, you know what? It might have happened just a few seconds earlier. Wow, really good highlights and lowlights coming off. Again, all he needs to do is pare it down. It's so early in the game, he doesn't have to make a decision. He just has to get useful intel out of it. And he absolutely does. Kaylee. Yeah, and that actually puts him in a really good position. He's got 2 highlights here, several lowlights. That's really good. And all of a sudden, even with the hardtail done, Seizurman, I'm not sure if he's a favorite exactly now.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a difficult situation despite the hardtail being done. 47% on the flirt is not 2 flirt range, so he's got some ground to make up.
This is still a very winnable game for him, but but put it this way, Kaylee missed a white hardtail at the beginning of the game, but he's kept himself at still about a coin flip to win, and that's a
true.
win. That's a win in response to a very quick Purloin.
Absolutely.
There come the inspects.
Getting the inspects without any issue.
Yep, doesn't take too long. And it helps, by the way, that the Seek comes and picks it up after he'd already done that one. So just briefly, it looks like he might not have been able to get them done. Obviously, technically, if Kaylee's watching closely enough, he knows he can. But there's also a possibility he couldn't have, so he's not sure he got all 3 done.
Absolutely.
Interesting. He stands a little farther away because he can't 2-flirt anyway. Ends up being a good choice, gets the green.
Not able to get the fingerprint off of it, though.
Yeah, that's a little rough. And that would have given him some really interesting options to finish the game up with a minute and a half. But now this is going to force his hand maybe a little bit more.
Indeed.
Probably into doing BB, for example. Yeah.
There's the BB.
Now, what's so interesting is if he gets that fingerprint, I don't think that BB comes off.
Oh my god, there are so many lowlights. I think it's down to 2.
Yep, it's just the 2 of them, and they're both highlights. And remember, he's really... Oh, wow. And no. What now? Helen Mirren, neutral lit. He is the prime suspect here, but he only needs 1 flirt, and he's not shot yet. So I don't know if that's going to be a problem. Alice is not going in conversation.
It's gonna be tight.
She had a briefcase there. She was not actually going into the convo. She's at the window. He's got 50 seconds. He can still wait to see where she ends up.
He's still got some time.
Oh, but he could even get caught for a flirt if he has to move. When he's only one of 2 people.
See.
Oh boy.
There he goes.
If he's not shot on talk, then he's probably going to get away with it. It's all or nothing.
There's the flirt.
There's the flirt. Helen Mirren's going for the briefcase.
It doesn't look like the cover. Toby's right in the way.
Yep,
and it doesn't look like he's going to take the shot. There it is.
No.
He changed his mind.
He does change his mind.
He changed his mind. Oh my god.
Wow.
Holy crap. And ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. It is so rare to see the sniper's cursor perfectly reflect what you know is going through their head.
Oh my god.
He looks at the flirt, he sees him talking, he thinks, oh, he could be done. But then Helen Mirren, and I think this is clearly what forced that tie, she goes for the briefcase.
Yeah.
She goes for the briefcase, and it's just enough of a hesitation. I actually think at the end, if he had 1 more second, he might have shot her. I don't know if it was so much a time issue as him genuinely changing his mind. I think he was going to shoot her if there was 1 more second. He can confirm that for us in a moment, I think.
Oh my god.
And that's all he needed. He just needed a little thing. I was saying earlier that if he had to even change conversation, the flirt would probably get him shot. And then he did have to change conversation, but then that little bit of bad luck with Alice not entering his conversation, counteracted by the good luck of Helen Mirren picking up the briefcase at exactly the right moment.
Yeah, that game kind of demonstrates how powerfully camping is broken if you get the hardtail by it. Like, I got a lot of information off that hardtail, right? I did not do badly off that hardtail at all. And yet, my game still... I lose that game because I did not know for sure who took that.
Right. Well, one of the reasons you're such an effective sniper, I don't mind complimenting you to your face this way, is obviously, as you say, there are holes in a hardtail camper's game. But what makes them really effective is even when you get it by them, they take a chunk out of you, right? They get all those highlights, they get all those lowlights, and they put themselves in a position to win eventually. And you absolutely did that. Very rarely does someone get away with a hardtail early on like that, but not really increase their chances of winning much as Spy. But you got so many lowlights and the right highlights out of it that it really, at that point, it was almost like it never happened.
Yeah, I tried my best on that one. Helen Mirren really, she's like, oh god, one of them is doing a soft L at the last second, and I don't know which it is.
Right. Now, if the game had gone another couple seconds, were you going to shoot her? Because you didn't go back, I don't think. It looked like you'd made up your mind to shoot Helen Mirren.
I was about to shoot Helen Mirren for overtime. I was like, okay, it's Helen Mirren. If it goes to overtime, it's Helen Mirren. Otherwise, it's like the perfect flirt, and I'm just going to give him the perfect flirt. And he got the perfect flirt, so I gave it. He did the thing that I thought he was not going to do.
Right. And forces a tie. And, obviously 2 top players. There's no way to really say anyone was a favorite here exactly. But the way you took the lead, certainly, and split the first couple of matches, you were the favorite throughout most of the match, at least. So Seigerman with a really good salvage of a tie there.
Oh yeah, that was good business. I wish I had that Damon shot back. Although I don't really know what I could have done. Like, the high-rise geometry is really tough there if you have to take an overtime shot. Like, because they just disappear around the corner, and you have to go all the way over to the left, and I didn't know if I had the time to do that, so just like shoot the person. But,
right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was a nice set. That was an entertaining set, I hope.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it was a little messier for both of you than normal. It wasn't exactly crazy high level play.
I don't
you
think
both had your moments.
Though. Are super proud of that match particularly.
Well, that's okay. There were definitely good moments, and as you said, above all else, it was entertaining, and that is the first priority for the caster.
Indeed, that was good business. All right. Well, with that, I will let you and Taboshi go. This has been Taboshi over on the left side of your screen. He is at twitch.tv/Taboshi, and he also has a YouTube channel where his username is Taboshi. No, ties are available. You can tie. You can draw matches. This is regular season. We do tiebreakers for playoffs.
Yeah.
Over on the right side of your screen is Warning Track. He is on Twitter at spypartyfans.com. Or no, just at spypartyfans, excuse me. And his website is spypartyfans.com, where you can download a ton of replays and read a bunch of cool pieces about the game. Taboshi and Warning Track, ladies and gentlemen. Great job casting as always.
Thank you very much.
And I will let you guys go and get hooked up
Thank
with
you.
Sharper. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Let's get rid of all this nonsense. Bring me back to life. Wake me up inside, etc. And we will put myself over here. And we will put my name right here. And we'll put Sharper right there. And then we got to call Sharper. And then we'll get going. Skype noise. That's my Skype noise, not your guys's.
Who could that be?
Hello, Sharper, and welcome to live. All right, so we actually did a weird thing because we had a bunch of time to kill while one of the matches wasn't working. So we cast one game from Teetery versus Brad.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
we're gonna start.
We're gonna start on game 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me go to the splash screen real quick and let me remember who won that match. Actually,
Okay.
I think Brad won this match.
Gotta say that last set between you and Siegeman was very entertaining. You both.
Oh, it was fun. It was
Yeah,
fun.
that
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Close games are always entertaining.
I felt like good in the wake of it. I was like, oh, that was fun. But then the more I started thinking about my play, and I was like, oh, I feel less good about the way I played in that. All right, yeah, I think Brad won this match. Pretty sure.
Spoilers.
Yeah, we already saw it, so it's fine. Spoilers for you and only for you, sadly. All right, so we'll back to the main game here, and let's fix the scoreboard, and then we'll get back on the train.
Yeah, it's funny. I often don't spoil it for myself just because I don't bother reading its listings of who won the game where it says mission win spy shot. I just try and not read that.
Yeah, it's hard not to, but you have to. My eyes just. I have trained myself to just glaze over that screen. Okay, plus Control N helps. Okay, so here we go. We are on the second game of Double Modern. Teetery is Sybil, and she is over by the near conversation circle. In 3, 2, 1, go. Sharper's webcam would be upside down. No, it would spin.
Is that Wodar? Because he'd been making that joke a lot.
Yeah, that is indeed Wodar. No, I think his webcam would spin in the other direction. Is the correct answer?
Yeah, the Coriolis.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely a real thing. All
that
right.
that was something actually I noticed. Your toilets over there. We have an early BB. Very interesting move.
Very good BB.
Oh, and thinking maybe because it's early, worth highlighting somebody in the non-DACC. So Boots gets a highlight.
Yeah, and not a lot of suspicion on Pearls, who was already low lit for some reason or another.
Yeah, very interesting. What was I saying? I was saying something about. Oh yeah, your toilets over in the Pacific Northwest are crazy. They're these like. I don't know. They just seemed a lot more intimidating than the simple ceramic ones we have.
Oh yeah, they're like porcelain-ish. Yeah.
Well, they're porcelain, but they're really like big and long. They're almost like a ship, and they've got this like
I see what you're saying.
Big like metal back.
Yeah. We have the big. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Bulky, I guess. Teetery gets
Whoa.
shot for Purloin. I have to assume was likely the cause of that. He did take Purloin right before that, and Brad was on top of it. Just a little bit of a delay. Just enough a delay to confirm that was white or green, and he takes the shot. So Brad goes up 2-0 on that one.
Yeah, it's interesting in situations where you don't see the spy get highlight for a tell, you assume, oh, that means that they're not suspect. But often it can just mean that the sniper doesn't want to give away that they're suspicious of somebody.
Indeed, indeed. Well played by Brad, right on top of the hardtail. We'll move on to Veranda, and Teetery will be the spy once again. He is green plaid. In 3, 2, 1, go. Teetery going to make for the briefcase? No, or the bookcase? No, he is going to the windows for an innocent.
Can be worth
watch
it for a
check.
time ad.
Yeah, not going to do that though. Just an innocent watch check. So interesting start to the game. Not usually worth it to slow play that hard at the beginning of a map like Veranda or Panop, because you're not going to get credit for it in all likelihood.
Yeah, you'll just be ignored with
Yeah,
with no
exactly.
recoil.
Like,
And like that, yeah. It can be helpful it can be helpful in a subtle way of like not putting yourself into the sniper's subconscious early on,
Yes.
but not by much.
Yes, you avoid getting the highlight by doing that. But
Yeah.
you know, to avoid getting the highlight, I mean, unless you're playing like against a really top tier behavioralist, you can just do a soft tell to start, like seduction, like doing a flirt is pretty standard. Does pick up the highlight for visiting statues. Going to get both in specs here. Does have 1/3 of a flirt and a fingerprint on top of it. Picked up that briefcase earlier.
It's an interesting question. I wonder if there's a trend of it being more suspicious to be highlight early or later, like whether there's a difference in the mind of many snipers.
Yeah, it depends on who you're playing and what you're getting the highlight for sure. Let's see, is he gonna do the double agent? Oh, he's not gonna do it now. Oh god, really tempting to bug. A lot of cover, but the sniper is there, so we'll see what his choice is. Does bug.
A lot of cover though.
It was visible if the sniper was looking at it, but I'm not sure he was. So I think Teetery gets away with it there.
Wasn't much else at the time he could have been looking at, but yeah, it would have been really hard to see.
Veranda's busy. I mean, even when you're trying to see something, you're not always able to see what you're looking at. Does pick up another flirt, 68% in line for the 3 flirt with another mid-range white. What's the choice going to be here? He could wait for the flirt cooldown to expire. Yep, there it is. And now he's going to pick up that last flirt. Nice and easy, 100%. 2 missions down. 3 to go, and half of 2 others done. Just needs to do that last inspect and pick up a fingerprint somewhere, and he's in good shape.
Well, the amber's right here. What? No, never mind. I was going to say could put down the briefcase.
Yeah, good time to visit statues here. I was going to say maybe the sniper won't see it. Sniper does rotate it, but he's not very visible, actually. Toby blocking it right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of attention on him. Could get away with a swap, maybe.
Maybe, but why risk it in this position? You can double agent and get a fingerprint. You can win without doing a hardtail. That might be my anti-hardtail bias going on, but it seems pretty sensible given the amount of time he has left.
Banana bread.
Yeah, just needs to find a fingerprint somewhere.
Has he got his eye on that briefcase?
We will see soon enough. It'd be a long trek to get there, but oh, it doesn't matter.
Whoa.
Takes the wrong shot. I'm not sure why. Let's take a look. A brief look since we're behind the ball here. What did she do?
Was in conversation with an SDA.
I think he thought Purple Dress was doing microfilm and maybe gave her credit for that hardtail. But in any case, Teetery does get on the board, and it will be 2-1 in favor of Brad now. And Teetery will get the chance to snipe.
I saw in the forums RJ was talking about potentially putting some scripts together to help with the UI for casting.
Indeed. That has not happened yet, but I'm hopeful it'll happen by next week. I was going to set it up, but I ran out of time, basically. All right, so we are on to Brad spying on Veranda in 3, 2, 1, go. And
Yeah, I can imagine there's like a gajillion things to organize.
It is, but I liked it. Brad is our other character with the green dress, choosing for the, I guess, slightly more tasteful polka dots than the plaid. I'm not sure.
It's between a rock and a hard place. It really is.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like the fashion sense of either one. But hey, there walks red plaid by us just to remind us that it could have been a lot worse.
It could be worse.
Doesn't do anything with that book. Still under AI control. Might be trying to no control. This does get a very nice bounce off that no control, but again, on Veranda, the chances of it being noticed are low. Does take control when the AI steers him right next to the seduction target, because why not? Green tested for the 51%. but has let a lot of time run off the clock. Oh, a little late on that bug. Needed to see that coming a little further in advance. Like, right idea, but just noticed it too late. Needed to keep his eyes open. Gonna try it. Bug walking by behind. That one takes. And I don't think Teetery saw it.
Yeah, I don't think his attention was there. And that's a good thing with a reverse drive-by bug. Even if you're not seen, it's in such a position where you're probably not going to get spotted for it.
Yep. Oh, green swap, but he interrupts his animation. So, be interesting to see what Teetery does and if he notices the swap coming. Let's go to his camera for a second here. No one's summoned over yet to swap. This looks like it's going to be snap, so this is going to be really bad if he doesn't see that it's a green. Statue goes up. Statue gets
Got him in frame. Yep, that's a green swap.
Got him in frame. Does look like a green swap. I don't think he saw the swap, though. Otherwise, he'd be doing a lot more low lighting or something right now.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Meanwhile, Brad, finishing up Flirt. Got 2 inspects left to go and 1 more mission on top of that.
At the very least, you would have low-lit snaps.
Yeah, or something. But I don't think he's... I don't even think he's noticed the green swap, to be honest with you. He's not reacting at all.
It looked like he had it in center frame then, so he's got to have noticed it by now. But by this point, Brad's way over at the other set of statues.
Yeah, he might not have correctly memorized, or he might have... he might think there's
been
no
veranda.
swap even though he saw it. Yeah, exactly. It's 8 statues. It's one of the hardest ones to memorize.
Especially depending on the order, like it's, what, 1, 3, 1... 1, 2, 1, 3...
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's... a lot of heterogeneous numbers.
Yeah, no super easy to memorize patterns. Brad, I have to imagine, is going to go for the double agent here. Is running out of time to do anything else. Could try Purloin, but why do that when you can just double agent? But he's getting the offer. And he green tests it.
Nice.
Says, screw that double agent, I want to go for the silent game. So, but that will give Teetery 1 more chance to catch a hardtail for the win here.
Yeah, Snaps hasn't been very active, I don't think, so I feel like he's not going to shoot him.
Yeah, Teetery's
Oh, this would be very
guarding
funny
at
if he
all.
didn't notice the guest list missing until after Snaps takes a drink.
It's going to be too late for that. He rejects it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, Teetery just doesn't get the hardtails there. So Brad just pushes swap and Purloin past him. 3-1 his favor as Brad keeps it even on Veranda. Keeps his lead from the first map as we move on to Panopticon.
Yeah, I feel like that game would have played very differently if he'd even glanced that swap had happened.
Yeah, or if he had noticed, he had to get out some data out of that, I think, but he just got nothing out of it. All right, so 3, 2, 1, go with Brad as Green Plaid once again, 2 games in a row here on Panopticon.
Yeah, we need dress code to be part of the pick ban phase. It's like,
yeah.
no plaid.
No plaid, come on. Just tacky. But, you know, there are a lot of poor fashion choices, as we noted earlier, at this party.
Yep.
Orange dress, I mean, has some problems of her own. Alright, goes right for the green swap there, does Brad. And, well, you know, why not? I mean, if he's not catching it, you might as well try it.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like statue visits are getting marked.
No, he's not getting highlight for statue visits. Teetery saving his highlights for something else.
Yeah, it looks like his attention might be for
I think Brad's taking a
people
bug pass.
bookshelf.
Oh, but orange dress gets in his way. His seduction plans get canceled by the ST moving. So what will it be now? Maybe thinking about that dive bug, but the Amba's going to be forced out.
Okay, swap's gone off, not in frame, so that looks like a free mission.
Potentially. We'll see if he catches it once he sees that that statue is different. But again, he might not notice it being different at all. Definitely has a chance to have seen it by now.
And the end of Brad.
BB goes off. You get 1, 2, 3, and if you're feeling risky, you could get 4 or 5. But beyond that, it's kind of risky to get more. No, just goes super conservative. White test Purloin happening. Is he on top of it? Is starting to look at the tray. Does see it's gone. Highlight, highlight.
Oof.
What about those lowlights, though? Any lowlights? None so
Yeah,
far.
That highlight for the Purloin seems pretty incriminating.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty high-value highlight there.
But he could potentially finish Seduce and Inspect in time, because there's still 250 left. So
That's
assuming
very
that
true.
assuming that Teetery hasn't noticed that there's been a time ad, he might feel comfortable enough to wait it out and see what his suspects do.
Yeah, this is going to be the moment of truth right here. Like, he needs to live through this inspect, I think. If he lives through here, I think his chances of winning are pretty high. Oh, safety taken off. Brad gets shot. Yep.
Yeah, made call. So he probably then did notice that the swap had happened. So he's like, all right, that's 3 missions done. Can assume that he's done on Seduce, maybe.
Yep. So very well spotted by Teetery there.
Safe shot.
Yeah, he knew what was going on in the end. Did get his data. Caught the Purloin. Brad maybe a little too aggressive on those hardtails. Maybe needs to play it a little bit slower. All right, so here we go on to Veranda, or Pan Up with Teetery as the spy now in 3, 2, 1, go.
And he's slightly more tastefully dressed.
Yep.
Good call, Teetery.
Nice lavender there. Goes well with her brown hair, etc. In her 8-bit. Well, this is an 8-bit, but it looks like vector graphics. Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah. It pulls the trigger on that bug late. And as a result, actually is kind of visible.
Looks like we're still alive.
Yeah, we are. I don't think Brad saw the bug necessarily, but just a little bit late on the reflex draw there for the bug. There's a flirt, green test, that'll help, and in a really good spot to BB if he wants to. And in a very kind of hard to see
is the pillar blocking us from view?
The pillar is sort of blocking us from view, I would guess, based on the positioning, but it wouldn't be a very good. It wouldn't be a very good Purloin block if we tried it. So he just goes for the DA. Oh, that bug takes a little late, just slightly late, but did get that bug off in time for the beautiful behind-the-back bug.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, Teetery in a much better position this round than Brad was previously.
Yes, indeed he is. What will it be from Teetery? He's not going to do a Purloin. He's going to pick up another flirt. Oh, the safety comes off there for Brad for a second. Green test, so that'll be the 2 flirt.
Nice. Yeah, it's helpful when your seduction target has a drink and takes a sip, because that can give you those valuable extra few seconds to ensure that they don't leave.
That's very true. And if it were me with 2 minutes left, I'd be thinking inspect swap. But he's going to go to right statue, so he's not going to win right away. I mean, why not go to center statues here with 2 minutes left? I mean, you can get all the highlights. Amazingly here, it's going to be Snaps gets highlight for a visit to statues that he doesn't actually commit to, because the statue's blocked. So inspect is done. What will Teetery do for the other mission, I wonder?
I'm wondering if Teetery's guessed that he's been low-lit from that laser movement, because he hasn't been doing anything that I would highlight him for. So if he's thinking that, then he's probably confident that he's low-lit, but I'm not sure. It can be hard to...
Yeah, it's very hard to tell for sure whether or not you're high-lit or low-lit. Hiding behind the pillar again, but I don't think you can call Toby over because of the plant from where he's standing. Yeah, I think he's thinking about Purloin. Yeah.
So maybe he does think he's low-lit. And he's like, okay, then it'll be safe enough to go for it.
Yeah, that would be an indication. Here comes the summon, but yeah, now he's going to pull Toby over. There we go. This isn't the best spot to Purloin. It is sort of visible. It's going to be a white test, so Brad will get the chance to shoot him, but Brad's looking somewhere else.
He's glancing away at the time, fortunately.
Yep, and the drink's gulped, so unless Brad knows a lot of things that we don't know, then that's going to be a free win for Teetery. If he can just pick up the inspect, yeah, just going to shoot Yellow Danger, thinking him responsible for the Purloin, so Teetery will even it up at 3-all with a strong performance on Panopticon.
Yeah. Good call, the gulp at the end.
Yeah, I think Brad didn't give Teetery enough credit there on Panopticon as sniper. He got some stuff by him on Veranda and just decided to keep the pedal to the metal on Panopticon. Maybe should have slow played a little bit more. All right, so Teetery will be wheelchair over here on the Irene Adler, and we are on pub any 4 of 7 in 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa, that's an interesting path, but hey, who's counting? Gonna add time, just in a watch check.
Those pillars are pretty generous as far as cover.
Yeah, those are very nice pillars, those big fat wooden pillars. They're good business. Picks up the white test, 34%. Gonna try and grab a drink. Maybe thinking about delegate since there's no fingerprint to be had. But more than likely just trying to get flirt off. Bug is available here. Maybe if we play our cards right, but it'd be awfully hard now. Oh, he just went for the straight purloin.
Whoa.
He didn't go
and
for the
gulped
delegate.
it.
Yeah, he just
wasn't
gulped
the
and ran.
counter. Ooh.
It can work. I mean, snipers are so focused on trying to track who might be delegated to who that sometimes they forget that you can just hard purloin. And yeah, here come the lowlights. And unfortunately for him...
Did he not see him at the bar? Did he?
I don't think he knows that he took a drink. Yeah, he thinks it was pearls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. So Brad was maybe thinking that he'd refused the drink and left the bar without one?
Yeah, quite possibly. I think the gulp got him, and I think he thought Pearls was the one who did it. He noticed a little bit too late. So very daring move there by Teetery pays off. And 4-3, and now with the opportunity to win coming all the way back from 3-1 here is Teetery, and he will be the sniper. Brad will be Irish over here in the front of the pub in 3, 2, 1, go. Although Checker doesn't like me calling this character Irish because she's Southern
Mediterranean Irish.
Well, you know, if you wanted her to be Southern European, you shouldn't have given her all green clothes, and you know that.
Well, they have lots of green things in.
That's true.
Like Central Mediterranean Europe, like olives and.
But you have to remember that I'm an American, and I deal in hilarious comical stereotypes of foreign countries. So there you go.
Well, no, I assume it's just that. Well, oh, okay. I don't know how much.
Yeah, that wasn't the best double agent, but wasn't the worst double agent either.
Yeah, it could have been worse. I mean, a lot of people were in Convo, and the SDA was in another one.
Yeah, Teetery's going to have a sort of moderate amount of information based off of that.
Really, the greater danger is just that now the sniper knows that a mission is done, and so they're going to be more confident when they have to take a shot.
Yeah. Brad did manage to, in that slow play, get 85% of the flirt done, so one more to go. But this is 4 of 7 pub, not 3 of 5 pub, so you got to do one more mission after that. Or after that, and the mission after that. Normally, so you do inspect and then try to, or seduce and go to inspect, or inspect and go to seduce or something, but you've got to do multiple missions here. Yeah, he's going to go to inspect and then seduce, but what's it going to be after that? He's not really got any fingerprints, hasn't really been looking for fingerprints. And after that, it's all hardtails.
So now Teetery knows that if Brad is the spy, he's got 2 missions done, so he'll have a lot of attention on that suspect.
Yeah, and presumably he's going to give him credit for a third one as well, since you usually have to give credit for seduce, unless you're Verifo, for instance. But we will see what happens here.
Yeah,
he's going to try to return the favor with the just straight purloin. No, he's going to pick up delegate.
Oh. Yeah, it's interesting how the meta for that works out, where because seduce is so hard to get. Whoa.
Yeah,
a little skip.
Bit of a teleport there.
Where because seduce is so hard to catch, snipers will often just assume that it's done, and so it kind of doesn't even matter to track it. You're just like, well, seduce is probably done, so I'll just add that list of suspicions.
Add that mission to the list of things that are possibly done. So he's got delegate possible, but he chose not to do it. Time quickly running out. He's going to have to pull the trigger on that delegate pretty soon if he wants to do it.
It's a hard call to make. I mean, maybe he could have situated himself across from Wheels so that when he talks, Teetery wouldn't be sure of who had set the delegate off.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
The bad news for him is that he sent, I think he sent the DA off, didn't he? Yeah, he sent the actual DA, so he's got a...
It was a fair while ago he took the...
Oh, he tried for the bug. Yeah, he tried for the bug rather than go for the DA. I kind of like that play, though, a little bit. He sends someone off to delegate. Right when they get to the bar, he goes for the bug. That way, he's trying to get away clean with the bug. He'll probably be busted on the purloin, but it'll be like 6 or 7 seconds in, he's hoping, and he can maybe dance for the victory or win before the sniper comes off. But he saw the bug, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, or the other challenge was that the delegate timer expired. I was thinking it had been a while taking the drink. So it can be a good security measure to go, okay, I need a backup plan.
Yeah. Yeah, he started the delegate just a little bit late there. So your winner is Teetery 5-3, just barely getting the win over Brad there, with a nice comeback to do so. So well played there by Teetery. And we'll move on to the 5th of our 6 matches for tonight. And that one will be Laplace versus Titulus. And we will start on balcony A23. And Laplace so far winless in the SCL, but only played 1 match, 1 or 2 matches, I forget which. And Titulus had been doing well until he ran into Math Ranger 101, who handed him a very unexpected defeat, I would say. Titulus just a very, very old school veteran, and Math Ranger very new relative to Titulus, but then again, a lot of us are. So we will see how Laplace fares against him. It is balcony 2-3. And Penguin is your spy in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, I like matches like that where it's the like up-and-coming young star against the like old grizzled veteran.
And we've seen a lot of those matches in the last few weeks here in Oak and Copper Leagues, where a lot of the old grizzled veterans who have entered late have been pitted against these rising stars.
Well, that's something I've noticed in playing very new players. Like I was playing against someone who only had like less than 10 wins. Oh, we've got the early BB.
No
white one.
Available, but it is a white.
No highlight for it.
So
yeah, I was playing somebody with less than 10 wins, and we were like neck and neck. They were doing really well.
It's terrifying. It's really terrifying.
It's scary.
Plus goes for the white. He interestingly
he put Furloin on.
But yeah, Titulus is on top of that. There's a reason you cut Furloin on balcony, and that's the reason right there. So Titulus takes advantage of the non-standard meta there quite easily. Goes up 1-0, and it'll be his turn to spy on the balcony in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, it's a tricky gambit to make because you assume all the time that people aren't going to put Purloin on, and so if you can just sneak it past such that they assume it's not on there.
Yeah, I got to double check those mission lists as the sniper every time.
Well, the UI for it now is a bit more legible, where it'll have all possible missions cross out.
That didn't take, and there are a lot of lowlights. 2 lowlights available off of that. So Titulus has the highlight, and he gets
nice
the bug.
On the bug.
Very nice bug that Laplace isn't able to see because he's moving. So
that might
very
save
nice.
if you can get the deuce finished.
Yeah, or he could just banana bread again, but you're pushing your luck if you banana bread again. And he's kind of trapped himself with that banana bread, I think.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, he might be suspicious of snaps and polka dots for their close proximity to each other over a window.
Yeah, that's true, but you'd rather not have had a banana bread go off now that you've got the bug done, because now if you just swear your way to victory, he's going to give you credit for the banana bread. Yeah, if you take away that banana bread, even if you let him keep the lowlights, he's not going to think to shoot in all likelihood if he's missed the bug. So Titulus drops that game, and Laplace draws even 1-1. And up next, we have the Irene Adler once again. We're any 3 of 5 here on Normal Pub. In 3, 2, 1, go. Laplace is your spy. He is Oprah, or Miss Frizzle as Tobo calls her. And gonna walk to not an irrelevant CC, but he's not exactly in range of the bug over there. He is still no controlling.
Yeah, would you give Miss Frizzle the award for best hair? Like, who would you rank as best hair?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, who else? I mean, Checker posted a post a while back about the skeleton for her hair, and it's more complicated, basically, than most other characters' whole skeletons.
It's nuts. Yeah. Like, I cannot imagine how much pain it would have been for John to have to animate that with all the bones.
Yeah. Yeah, each strand of her hair has a bone in it, basically. Well, not literally in some kind of terrible Lovecraftian horror sense, but in a video game rendering sense. Although who knows? Who knows what secrets Oprah hides? Maybe each of her hairs has a literal bone in it.
For optimization reasons, they probably couldn't afford that.
Has the inspect done? Did not take a delegate off that drink, curiously enough. And again, no reason not to. Might as well give yourself the option in case you change your mind later. He is the only highlight right now. Does have double agent available, and it would be a good one. Everyone's in conversation, but the other SDA is way over there, so it might be... Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Strong shot there by Titleist, and maybe a little bit of a hasty shot, but he does hit the spy.
Yeah, 150. I mean, he couldn't have. Maybe he thought swap had happened. I'm not sure.
It's 3 of 5. He'd been to inspect. He'd done the double agent, and if you give him credit for the seduce, there you go. But I mean, of course, he didn't have seduce done, but the thinking's easy to appreciate. So on we go. Yeah, that wouldn't be the first time that we've mentioned Lovecraftian horrors here in the Spy Party Twitch with that one modern build that Checker uploaded, which was horrifying. All right, we've got Titleist versus Laplace. Titleist is the twin. Which twin? I'm not sure which twin he is. He is a regular twin. Over on the right in 3, 2, 1, go. Other twin not present.
Yeah, it's funny how more often than not, I find people won't play with the meta of picking a twin, or it'll be lucky and one of the twins won't be in. And so when I am in a situation where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm suspicious of one of the twins. Now what do I do? Because I don't know which one I was suspicious of.
That's the trap. Titleist wisely walking through the CC
fun problem.
It is. I like the twin meta. I made a suggestion recently that the twin should actually be... Oh, that's actually not a bad return at all. Oh, that's a daring
That it's bad bug, though.
That's a daring bug, and yeah, Laplace is all over it. Yeah, Laplace knows that. Yeah, he doubted himself for a second there, but I think he's like, no, I'm pretty sure I saw that. So 2-all it will be, and maybe kind of a questionable bug there. I like the return, but not the flat angle bug. If he wanted to do the bug, he should have just done the normal standing behind the AMBA perpendicular bug, but instead he did the parallel bug. And that's what happens when you do the parallel bug. So here we go. On we go to New Art Ballroom, A4 of 7 with fingerprint cut for Laplace in 3, 2, 1, go.
What was your suggestion?
Yeah, the twin thing.
Yeah.
I think the twins should be a little bit harder to tell apart. Like I want to mix and match their jewelry. Maybe one of them has the tie clip, and one of them has the earring and the regular ring, or whatever the.
I don't know. Like unless you set the time aside to, although yeah, I guess they are pretty hard to tell apart, aren't they? Because that tie clip can be seen.
Yeah, whatever the it gets away with a white test microphone because Titleist is zoomed in. But whatever the most obvious piece of jewelry you think is for the twins, give that to the other one, and then let the other twin keep the 2 less noticeable pieces of jewelry. Would be my suggestion. Because I like ring. The ring is definitely one of them. It's kind of a debate between which one is more noticeable between the earring and the tie clip. In most situations, I think it's the tie clip, but in ballroom, for instance, I think the earring is actually a lot more help in many situations. But we'll see. We'll see. Laplace idling now has the blue microphone. Should probably leave. Yep, there we go. You can do an irrelevant CC.
Yeah, a lot of people moving around with books. That might be a helpful cover for finishing off the transfer.
One would hope. Laplace is going to pick up some specs here, but only 2 at most. It's a very busy party. A lot of people moving around here.
Yeah. I am hopeful that when dossiers come in, that they'll work. Because that's a problem that Virifo had mentioned before, that it might be a problem where if certain characters are limited such that, okay, they have trends of not going to this place, now suddenly you're limited as far as where you can go. Whoa. Titleist debating whether...
Yeah, he really doesn't like sick there, yeah. I don't know. I think I really hope that dossiers work because I think it's an interesting feature. I would hope that there's not too many hard tells of things. Like, there shouldn't be hard tells of, this person never does that mission. Because that kind of limits the... I don't like limiting options for the dossiers too much. I like, you can maybe lose some heat by doing this kind of weird thing that your character would normally do.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the opportunities for it to make character selection much more of an engaging strategic component. But the challenge is then if doing multiple missions means you're always stressed for doing things that will be suspicious because you're doing one thing that isn't suspicious for your character, but then you have to do another thing that is.
Yeah. And Tylus takes a wrong shot there, and it's the same sin that kind of killed him with Math Ranger a little while ago. He's just a little too aggressive with these shots sometimes. But at the same time, he was never onto Laplace there, and Laplace did do a hardtail. So, well played by Laplace there. Tylus just taken a little too fast, or a little too fast, I should say, on the trigger there in a lot of these games.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what Taft was suspect for. He could only have done contact.
Yeah, there's a lot of going on here in Newark Ballroom. It's really easy to get paranoid, I find. But Tylus will get to try and exploit that now as the spy. Andrew Ryan, he will be in 3, 2, 1, go. Or Newark Bondo, or Walt Disney, or whatever you'd like to call it.
Disney. I hadn't thought of that one. That seems to fit the closest to me. He's got that sort of mildly sinister look to him.
See, that's why I went with Andrew Ryan. But that name's
Ryan's
not great.
Ryan's more overt. Sorry, Ryan's more overtly sinister as a character, whereas Disney is more ambivalent, I think.
Plus, that's too many syllables to say Andrew Ryan. Plus, it's kind of an inside. I mean, a lot of people played, Bioshock, but it's still kind of an inside reference. I think with just Pondo would probably be better. Yeah, maybe could have bugged there, but decided not to.
Yeah, Mr. Bunt.
Straight up swap. Isn't noticed.
He's deliberating.
Yeah, it's noticed.
He's deliberating a lot.
So Laplace will get 2 game points here going into our next map. And 4-2, and Tylus not doing well against the rookies so far. On to, what a map to have to win out for your life here. It's going to be good old Modern 2-3. By many people's estimation, the worst map in the game. In 3, 2, 1, go. And kind of the problem with this is that it's balcony, but there are fewer people, and the bugs can be easier to get away with on this map.
Wait, it's fewer people than balcony. I thought it was the same amount.
No, I think once you take away cast members, there are fewer possible spies. I see.
Oh, because here they are.
Yeah, there are only 6. Yeah, and there are more than that on balcony.
But they're unmarked to the sniper, right? Like the sniper doesn't get to see.
Well, it used to be on Modern that the AMBA wasn't marked, and that was horribly broken. It turned out. So Checker went back to putting the AMBA in, and now we only have 6 potential spies, and that is indeed less than balcony.
Okay. Wait, sorry, so how many guests are there on balcony?
I believe there are 7 or 8 potential spies on balcony. I'm not sure. One of the other veterans can correct me if I'm wrong and I'm making all this up. Yeah, there are 7 people. Technically, there are 9 people. There are only 6 potential spies on balcony. Man, it seems like more than that. All right, well, ignore me. I'm bad at balcony. But
it's probably just the fact that Modern is slightly bigger, and so it's
my point is, I don't
easier
like
to separate suspects.
That's right.
Well, we're in the 30-second period.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go. He needs to green test the last one. Yeah, but DA is unmarked in both maps, yeah. Ooh, is Tylus going to take the wrong shot? Yes, he does. Yeah, he shoots the person talking in 11 seconds, so a little bit understandable there, but Laplace able to win that game and the match with the slow play. Or the slight slow play, I should say. He was committed to it there at the end, I think, but up until about 20 seconds out, he gave himself the option to finish if he wanted to. So Laplace takes it, and Tylus drops another match to a relative rookie. So Laplace joins Math Ranger and on the list of people who have taken a Titleist scalp, and that's very interesting and very, very impressive.
It's scary how good these guys are getting, the newer players.
All right, so we'll load our final match for the night, which will be Cameraman versus Royal Flush.
Both very good players.
Both doing rather well in their divisions as well, so this should be a good match. We will start on good old balcony, A23. And let me fix the scoreboard before we start here.
Yeah, it's interesting playing newer players. I feel like I'm not really good at Spy Party. I'm just experienced, because there are a lot of people who come in and very quickly just get the grips of the game and start performing well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what causes different people. You know, I think you're plenty good at Spy Party, but I'm not sure what causes different people to learn at different speeds. Certainly, I think generally people have been learning a lot faster since replays came in. I
And
think that's
Spectation.
Yeah, exactly. Spectation's been in for a lot less time, but I think it helps, and I certainly think replays help. And that's just really accelerated the learning curve for a lot of these newer players. All right, so we are here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you're right. It is only 6. Look at that. And 3, 2, 1, go.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It feels like more people because they're in a more confined space.
It really does. And you know what it is? It's they're smaller, and so it feels like you can pack more of them into that CC.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't like either map. So.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure eventually we'll have new art balcony. Actually, that'll be interesting because with the tight. Oh, sorry. Well, no, because eventually there will be like a proper new art balcony. Because modern at the moment is the new art balcony just sort of because it can't yet be proper modern because there aren't enough people for it yet.
Aren't there though?
No, because Chris was saying it'll need more guests. Like apparently it's quite a large map when you open up the whole thing.
Banana bread.
I suppose it is. All right, so we've got across the CC flirt. We're the first talker with 2 people talking during white test. We're pretty moderate high suspicion.
Yeah, he was highlight already for it.
Oh man,
Whoa.
and he gets the bug off, but Cameraman
clean.
just takes the wrong shot on green polka dots there. So Royal Flush will take the lead 1-0, but we'll see if he can get that ever elusive balcony snipe off to get the 2-0 lead.
Yeah, was she talking during? Yep, she was talking.
Yeah,
during
she
the
was.
video
She was the second talker, so she was the more suspicious talker during the double agent one.
That's a hard call.
Ordinarily speaking, you're right, Water. We probably don't need split screen for balcony. It's just force of habit at this point. In 3, 2, 1, go. Cameraman, your spy. He is under AI control until he gets into the CC. Now I gotta imagine he'll do a flirt, although he doesn't want to do it right away. Does banana bread with green, so that will help a lot. And there's going to be a lot of suspicion put on people that aren't him. Does get a white flirt.
Including the double agent. That's always funny when the double agent gets highlighted for contact.
Yeah. Nice little irony there. Gets low lit, interestingly, even though he did do a talk in the wake of that BB. So Cameraman doing well.
Yeah, he might not have seen that while he was highlighting other people.
Yep. The ST is merciful, goes out, comes back in, but not at an ideal spot. So we're at only 61%. We do need a green flirt to win here. We might want to chase, or we might see if she comes back to us. But orange dress
Royal
gets
Flush
shot.
eager to shoot.
Because she's orange dress, and 1-1 there, and just
well, she was hiding in the fern, so you
exactly.
Know,
games like that, I just shrug and go balcony and move on. All right, so we're on to ballroom A4 of 7 it will be, and Royal Flush is going to be your spy. He cuts microfilm in 3, 2, 1, go. Microfilm, a pretty respectable choice to cut. Yeah, balcony, sometimes that happens. Sometimes, oh, nice bug. Nice bug during Time of Chaos, right at the start, gets away with it clean, so free mission for Royal Flush there off the start. Cuts microfilm, and that's certainly one of the hardest, if not the hardest mission to get away with on this map, but also does consume a lot of sniper attention.
Well, also for General, with his rather iconic hat, he's a hard one to get away with on it, unless you're doing shelf to shelf.
Yeah, he's got a kind of non-symmetrical hat. He's got that brim on the top that kind of pokes out, so it's very easy to see if you do a white test.
Yeah, it's a distinct shape when you turn. Same I find with Seekman, his turban is quite noticeable.
Yeah, it's the folds. If it were a little more amorphous, then it'd be harder to know. Yeah. But the Queen's hat, it all depends on whether or not you catch the flower.
Yeah.
kind of the more symmetrical your head is, the harder it is to catch white test microfilm. It's kind of
well,
like
it's
old
ironic.
Are so hard.
Yeah, it's ironic that Miss Frizzle with the amorphous hairdo, that hers is the hardest to see, because originally I remember Chris saying, "Oh yeah, I'm totally thinking hers will be this really easy to tell transfer because her hair will like shake all about," and it turns out, oh, it's actually the opposite. You like, really can't tell.
So Royal Flush proceeds white test Purrloin while we were talking, gets away with it clean, and Cameraman's behind the ball here a little bit now. Because Royal Flush can, if he wants to, just do some flirts, do some double agent, and as long as he doesn't get shot for inspect or whatever, then he'll be in good shape.
I actually set himself up very well.
Man, a lot of dead civilians in this set. I think it's just straight dead civilians so far.
Yeah. I gotta stop drawing attention from what's happening.
No. The banter is on point, and I mean, there's not a lot to say other than white test microphone or white test Purrloin. Is he going to get shot or not? You're making a good point, because I think Checker did kind of predict that Oprah was going to be like a kind of worse microfilm character, but
it was the plan.
How kind of it's more amorphous. It's more of an amorphous blob. There aren't really any distinguishing features in that hair that you can pick out on a particular side of her head. All right, so we are on to ballroom once again, and Cameraman also going to cut microfilm in 3, 2, 1, go.
Cameraman controlling Papa Danger.
Good old Papa Danger.
Good old Papa Danger.
One of the most imbalanced characters right now and I don't mean imbalanced from a fairness perspective, but like he's got strengths and weaknesses, and he's got the big strength of having that invisible cane side bug.
Yeah, if he had a big weakness, that would work out okay.
Well, his big weakness is, I mean, it's a spy party, everything balances itself out. His big weakness is that snipers know that, and that if you walk by people with
if he's ever if he's ever at all close to the ambassador, you're laser focused on him.
Yeah, the sniper should be guarding it pretty closely. Cameraman really playing it slow to start here. Gonna do some inspects to start as his first mission choice.
Oh, good timing to do it because another person's at statues as well. That can help a lot if you do it when somebody else is at statues, because then the sniper is already thinking, okay, I know there's multiple people who have been to statues, so they're not going to make as much of it.
Yep. No opportunity to do that
he didn't highlight
there.
Yeah, he did not highlight the other person at statues, so sometimes that doesn't play out.
Good green test BB. Very nice BB. Not going to get any data off of that one, it looks like, is Royal Flush.
Well, green dress was out of conversation, but looks like that was missed.
What's it going to be? Is it going to be the bug? No, he's just going to try and get a very long distance for it. Kind of a puzzling spot to stand in that CC. It is green, so it does get a 34%. No, that's Twin who has the bug.
Oh, that's Twin, okay.
Does not try for the bug. Royal Flush is pretty suspicious of him. Going to take a white test Purrloin. Is Royal Flush going to see it? Yeah, he sees it. Is the trigger going to get pulled? He's thinking about it. That laser's on him.
I'm not sure if he saw it. Queen's head might have been in the way.
Maybe. I was looking at it, and I did see that the list was missing on Royal Flush's screen, but he might not have actually noticed it. Seeing it and noticing it are two very different things in Spy Party, so Cameraman, as of right now,
he's still
yeah.
Might have too soon.
Yeah, here's the shot. Yeah, he saw it.
Aim
just
for
trying
a
to
kidney.
confirm. Right in the kidney is where he shot him, and that's got to be pretty painful. So Royal Flush going to take the lead now, 3-1. Unless I misscored one of those earlier ones, but I don't think I did. All right, next up we have Courtyard 2. Good old familiar Courtyard 2. Any 4 of 7. Royal Flush will be Business Suit. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Just sitting in this conversation.
Yep, just going to idle, take a sip. Scope out the territory. Leaves a little early, but who cares? That was almost unnoticeable. Nice.
Yeah, it's
green
something
flirt.
that AI will do, right? Will they interrupt the end of their drink animation to walk?
I don't think so. Someone else can correct. I'm no expert on anti-tells like that, but or that's a whoa. Oh, he
Early
saw the pro line.
Purling got him
Yeah,
shot.
He saw the pro line. Okay.
Risky gambit on courtyard too.
These snipers are waiting on these hardtail shots, and it makes me think that they saw something weird that they didn't. I was like, oh, it was probably for the hardtail. All right, so Cameraman, one game away from drawing even now, 3-2, and you get the chance to spy to tie it up on courtyard 2. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, we've had some very eager snipers this past game. Past 2, really.
Yes, indeed, and a lot of dead civilians as a result, I should say. Gonna go for the early flirt here. %. And what's up next? That old courtyard 2 question of what am I going to do next? The pressure is pretty constant to make steady progress on this map.
And red.
Got a white BB, we're in view.
Yeah. Looks like Rufflush just going to get low. It would be a great time to bug. Great time to bug. A lot of cover. He's going to be distracted.
Yeah, Flush was really distracted in that moment. It would have been perfect.
It was too late. He waited until personal space was violated. Yeah.
It's hard to make the call in the moment.
It is.
Because it takes us a few cycles to see that the sniper's looking away, and then by that point, you've missed the opportunity.
Indeed, you have. You just have to kind of double agent and then just count on it, and just bet that the sniper's going to be distracted. Does Gavin Specs done? Going to go pick up another flirt. It's going to be a long distance flirt, though.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to finish in 3.
And unless he green tests this or the next one.
Well, there you go.
But actually, he's so far away that he's going to need another green test. And man, he really wishes he had that bug, because it'd be smooth sailing to the finish here if he had that bug. But now he's got to seduce and do something else.
Looks like Flush is really watching drinks after that last game.
Yeah, I would too. Oh no, Amba not going to walk behind us, and the sniper's there anyway. I agree with you, Slappy, that I like Cane Bug. I like what it does for the game. I think it actually is a little too strong, maybe. But I wouldn't nerf it into the ground. I'd just make it maybe a little more visible than it is.
Yeah, don't get us wrong. We love Cane Bug. Cane Bug is great.
Yeah. Could get a fingerprint here. Well, no, it's kind of late to get a fingerprint. So we got 30 seconds left. It's gonna.
There's not much time.
Oh, good time to add time if you can get it in the next couple of seconds. No, here comes.
With the sniper in frame, that's a pretty big risk to take.
It's gonna be Bug.
I like that.
And does get away with it. The classic walk-in.
Nice.
Yep.
I think we're alive.
Nice. Very nice play by Cameraman. Very nice Bug. Right in
And
view of
did
the
it before
sniper.
10 seconds, so no
That's right.
overtime risk.
Yeah, very smooth moves there by Cameraman. Let's take another look at that Bug, actually, because that was a classic walk-in Bug, if you will. So let's
Yeah,
take
he
a look at
really
it.
waited for an opportune moment there.
Yeah,
That was
let's take a
good
look at it
play.
from Interactive Sniper Cam. Go here. Yeah, a little bit of cut through there on the Amba, but not too much. So, yeah, very nicely done by Cameraman to get that win. And to tie up the match 3-3. And on we go to our final map of the night for the cast. It will be the Irene Adler once again. Pub, any 4 of 7, Rufflush as the spy. 3, 2, 1, go. And what's it going to be to start? Well, we let the AI drive. No, we take control and stop at the bar.
You know, if Mr. A looks like Disney, then I think the portrait of Irene Adler looks kind of like Mary Poppins.
A little bit. I mean, the thing about the knock on Irene Adler's
Except for the
portrait
hair.
up there is that it's clearly Boots remodeled, wearing a fancy hat.
Oh yeah, Boots could be her like great grand unrelated person.
Exactly.
Or something.
The Irene Adler coming about because Checker and his daughter Clementine were big into the Holmes mythos at the time, and Clementine was a fan of the strong female character, and Checker thought that was sweet, so the Irene Adler we have.
I wonder if they played The Walking Dead. That would be cute. Given that the young, strong female protagonist in that game is also named Clementine.
Clementine, yes indeed. That would be funny. Although maybe a little violent for Clem. She's a little young for that, maybe.
Oh, she's like, what, 11, 12 now? That's... I mean, kids, really.
Yeah, I suppose your average 11 or 12-year-old has seen a human being mauled to death in front of their eyes. It is 2015, isn't it? Playing it nice and slow. We've got Purloin done now, and I don't think it was noticed. It's going to be a fake BB, and he's going to get shot immediately.
He saw it.
Yeah, he saw the Purloin. I didn't see the shot right away, so I wasn't sure, but Cameraman going to go up 4-3 and has the chance to spy for the win now.
Yeah, it can be tricky with... At that moment, he was very clearly talking during the BB, so that can...
Yep, not a lot he could do there once Cameraman saw the Purloin thing. All right, so we will have Cameraman as the spy, and he will be which twin? He will be the Bling twin, but with no other twins, so not a lot of play there. In 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, bug available?
Yeah,
no.
That can be a useful point in strategy if you're trying to get away with a contact or a seduce, to pick a character whose talk animation isn't very noticeable. Someone like a Queen
Pearls is the classic case. If you see Pearls talking from behind, she has one moment where it's kind of obvious that she's talking, and other than that, she's clean, more or less. You can stop talking really well with her.
Yeah, where someone like a Disney or Boots, they have a very...
Boots, the hands go up right away. You're busted. Now, Pearls tends to keep it all in front of her, all her gesticulations, and at one point she kind of holds the finger up, but that's well into talk animation. And I, who, above many people, would know about the wisdom of certain stop talks, would say that Pearls is my favorite character to stop talk with. Oh, no, yeah, a little late there.
Chasing ST? Oh.
So he just Purloined right back. I mean, he's got like a couple Liliths, but they're all cast, so I don't know if he's seen it. He does notice it's gone now. Okay, now there we go. Now he's got Cameraman. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it would have been smart to gulp. I don't know.
Possibly, but I think he knew he was there.
Ooh, kind of useful actually, having the drink in hand. He's not suspect for bug.
Yeah, that kind of saved him there potentially. Get that fingerprint though. If it were any 3 of 5, I'd say he had kind of a chance, but it's 4 of 7. He's super, super suspicious right now.
Yeah.
Maybe try to get the bug here. No.
Can't even return the case. Yeah, it's a tough situation for Cameraman to come back from this. Maybe if he... Ooh, and he's not close enough to finish on another flirt.
Yeah, clearly feels the heat, I think, because of the way he's standing in the CC.
Yeah.
So for good or for ill, this is the last game.
So he's trying to create the triangle of non-suspicion, not standing too close to anyone.
Yep, he's maybe going for the timer floor here, but I'm not sure he has the time for the timer floor. He's down to 1 minute 10.
Yeah.
And it'll be 2 missions done once he gets that flirt done.
That is the DA, so, oh, no, gonna leave.
Yeah, he's got to do something.
It's gotta.
Yeah, it's going to be inspect.
He could inspect.
It's got to be inspect. I think he wants to do fingerprint. If the Amba goes to the bar, he maybe could do so. But she's not going to. She's just going to the visit. She's got a drink in hand already.
This is tough now that the ST is...
Just dead. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just dead. He was more on top of the Purloin than we thought, I think. So 4-4, Royal Flush ties it up, and that will be a draw and a very well-fought match there. Some hasty loose sniping in the beginning, but it really tightened up, and the snipers started to just become invulnerable, more or less. So very nice
a lot
match
of Purloins.
Yeah, a lot of Purloins. A lot of caught Purloins, though. Well, at the beginning, the Purloins weren't caught, but at the end, they were. And yeah,
the snipers pulled on.
Kind of interesting there how how both snipers got stronger as the match progressed. All right, well, that will be the end of the cast for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Casting with me has been Sharper. He is on Twitter at @AStewartHarper, and he has a YouTube channel as well. I am Crazy Kaylee. You can find me on Twitter at Crazy Kaylee. I run a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Crazy Kaylee. The two casters you had earlier were Toboshi, twitch.tv/Toboshi, at ToboTV on Twitter, and Warning Track, who is at Spy Party Fans on Twitter and has the website, www.spypartyfans.com. And this game, of course, is Spy Party, which you can find available for sale for $15 at spyparty.com. And look for it on Steam this year, hopefully. Early this year, if you believe Checker.
Wait, you mean early next year?
See, I believe, or yes, I think it's 2016 already. Yeah, early 2016. And I believe Checker.
We haven't even hit Christmas yet.
But I'm not sure, even though he's good faith about it. It'll probably be like June. That'd be my guess. So we will see. We will see what happens with that. But in the meantime, you can buy it $15, spyparty.com. Buy it now, because it's going to go up in price, I would guess, once it goes on Steam. And that will be it. This has been the Spy Party Competitive League. We do this cast every Sunday here on this channel starting at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And you can go sign up for the league. Anyone can play. As long as you own the game, you can play. Just go sign up in the forums. So until next time, I am Crazy Kaylee. I have been joined by Sharper. And I will see you guys.
Yeah, have a Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes, Merry Christmas indeed. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy all the other various holidays. They will all intervene. Ramadan. They will all intervene by the next time I see you. So have fun, stay safe out there, and I'll catch you guys next Sunday.
Although no, wait, I just realized Ramadan happened earlier in the year, so that one doesn't count.